And those guys come to mind as guys who can go 6 or 7 innings. The Unicorns don't really have that. Most of their guys are going to be capped out at 4 or 5 innings. And it was a platoon pitching night for them on Wednesday. Jean Montaner started the game for them with 3 perfect innings, 3 strikeouts, no base runners at all. And then the rest of the bullpen followed him up with good days as well. We're expecting to see that tonight. It's going to start with Jake Fiorito on the mound for the Unicorns. But that kind of team effort is really working for them. I think part of it is keeping hitters off balance with new look guys, every inning it seems like after the 4th or 5th.
Yeah, you seem to go with a bunch of relievers, passing the baton and using that as a sort of strategy as we get to the end of August here. It's something new that the other teams haven't really seen, and it can throw them off balance on their groove they've progressed throughout this entire season, and now they have to face 4, maybe 5 pitchers in a game. It can throw them off kilter, and it could be working in the Unicorns' favor here today.
And so we referenced Rafi Vasquez. He was the starter last night for the Mammoths in their 6-2 win over the Beavers, who are in second place, chasing the Unicorns team that you'll see tonight. And Vasquez had a wonderful performance. Went 7 innings, much further than we expected, around 100 pitches. Did face one batter in the 8th, gave up a leadoff single, and then his day was done from there. But 7 innings, 2 runs, 8 strikeouts, and only 1 walk from a guy who, you have to remember, in college was not a pitcher. He played infield, pitched a little bit in his high school days in his first year of college, then abandoned it, came back to it professionally. He's working on the sinker and the slider. Those pitches were fantastic last night, and he was fun to watch.
He really was fun to watch, and knowing previously what we can expect, he wasn't a pitcher traditionally, but to the average goer, fan, you wouldn't expect him to be a position player. This is his first time being a pitcher in the professional level. He really put out a great performance yesterday for the Mammoths, going 6 scoreless innings, 7 total innings. The guy actually had a fantastic outing, and it's great to see him off the 1 month that he was off, come right back into it, seamless, and give the Mammoths a win last night.
And you add into the fact that he was doing it with a new catcher, it's even more impressive. The Mammoths recently just signed Sam Loda out of Central Connecticut State. He had his first professional game and start last night, had his first professional hit, his first professional RBI, his first professional walk, first pro hit by pitch. He went 2 for 3, walk, hit by pitch, 2 RBIs as well, and he called a good game behind the plate. Rafi was our player of the game, and in the post-game interview, he said, I got to give a lot of credit to my catcher. He called a great game, and we talked to Sam pre-game today, which that interview is moments away, but he gave credit to Rafi. But it was a really good debut for Sam, who is taking over a catching spot that has been whittled by injuries to Nick Caruso and Duncan Hewitt, and he stepped up big last night.
He really did. Sam Loda, newcomer, both showing humility towards his pitcher and his pitcher reciprocating it back. You love to see it. Sam Loda also had his first extra base hit, 2 RBIs. He had a great debut here at the USPBL, and he can't wait to suit up again here tonight against the Utica Unicorns, who are red hot.
Well, we talked with the Connecticut native pregame. Here's that interview now. Here with Sam Loda, new catcher for the Mammoths. Sam, thanks for being here. Let's first talk about your situation coming over to this team. Obviously, Duncan Hewitt and Nick Caruso, 2 guys who've been really good catchers all year. They both unfortunately get injured. You've got to step up into a big role kind of last minute. What was that like for you getting over here to the USPBL and quickly sliding in to be the starting catcher?
It was nerve-wracking at first, leaving my house, driving halfway across the country, just coming here to meet a bunch of people I've never met before, and a little nerve-wracking, but once I got out here, I knew it's just something I've been doing my whole life, playing since I was a little kid, and it's just something I've been doing, so that's what I like to do.
And so we talked to Rafi Vasquez, the starting pitcher in your guys' win last night over the Beavers, and asked him about, he had a really good day, 8 strikeouts, went 7 innings, did face a batter in the 8th, and we asked him, what was the key for you? And he gave you a lot of credit. He said, man, Sam was great. He was just throwing down pitches, and I was throwing them, and they were working. What goes into that for you as a guy who's never caught in this league before, never caught for Rafi, and never caught against some of these hitters in a Beavers lineup that's been very good this season?
I'd say it comes down to preparation before the game. Jelly took me and Rafi before, made a little game plan of what we got to do to some guys, like the guy Dakota, very hot right now. We had a game plan for him, and it makes it very easy my job when Rafi hits the spot, so all props to him. He gave me a lot of props, but he's the one throwing the balls. It makes my job easy when he hits the spots.
And so what was kind of the focus? Obviously, Rafi's got that sinker and slider combination and the changeup a little bit, but it seemed like those two pitches were working really well with each other.
Yeah, slider was working really well. He really just tried to keep it low and away from a lot of the power hitters that they have, and we really tried to work low, leave nothing elevated so they couldn't leave the park, and it worked out.
And you add in the fact that not only were you good behind the dish, did have a back pick put out over at first base as well on a drop pitch, but also good at the plate too. 2 for 3, a hit by pitch, a walk, 2 RBIs in your first 2 professional hits. How did that feel?
It felt amazing. Just got it over with, really. All the pressure, and then once I got that first hit, just all the pressure was gone, and I was just playing baseball.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. It was fun to watch you last night. Good luck to you tonight. Mammoths and the Unicorns coming up on the other side of the break if you're watching on the My Michigan TV pregame show here in the stadium. Enjoy a wonderful Friday night.
How do these business owners find the time for peace of mind? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with Tryon, one of the nation's top professional employer organizations, provides access to top-tier health care and employee benefit plans and its team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Friday Night Baseball on the US PBL Network is brought to you by Alliance Catholic Credit Union and our following sponsors: Ascension, Belfour Property Restoration, Budweiser, DTE Energy, Fifth Third Bank, Jarbcom Audio and Video Solutions, Jimmy John's, Macomb Community College, McLaren Macomb, McQuaid Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Refrigeration, Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers, Pepsi, Scott's, and United Wholesale Mortgage. We thank all of our sponsors for everything they do. It's the Mammoths taking on the Unicorns. We'll start taking a look at our starting lineups, beginning with the visiting Westside Woolly Mammoths. Leading off and playing second base will be a newcomer, Mitch Morales. Playing first base and batting second is the lefty Elijah Brown. Batting third and out in right field, another newcomer, Connor Emmett, who's off to a good start. Cleaning up and over in the hot corner at third is Houston Parker tonight for the Mammoths. Brian Leaf will be out in center batting fifth. Greg Vaughn Jr. gets a start today in the outfield. He's over in left and he'll bat sixth. Sam Loda, the new catcher who had a good game last night, he'll be behind the plate again and bat seventh. Wade Weinberger is your designated hitter. The lefty will bat eighth, and then Connor Bagneski rounds things out for the Mammoths. Another lefty bat playing shortstop and batting ninth. They're led on the mound tonight by Colin Ledbetter. Taking a look at the home Unicorns, it'll be Landy Castro leading off again for the Unicorns, playing in right. Luis Attilis all the way up to the 2 spot over at shortstop. Drew Galossi, we mentioned him. He's been on a tear again out in center field and batting third. Behind him, Ari Sakopoulos is the cleanup man tonight for the Unicorns. Noah Childress, your designated hitter, batting fifth. Kevin Lambert bats sixth and plays third. Alec Brunson, a newcomer, bats seventh and plays over in left. Matt Parkinson has the duties behind the dish, batting eighth. And John Hodo rounds things out in the 9-hole, playing second base. They're led on the mound by Jake Fiorito. First pitch from him coming up momentarily right after the break here on the US PBL Network.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
We joined GreenPath and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to do it.
The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing GreenPath is a no-brainer.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Sports is a proud partner of the USPBL. Big names, low prices, delivering value since 1937.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms, and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
Starting lineups, check. National anthem, check. First pitch on the horizon, but before that, Nick Matthews, your keys to a victory tonight for both teams.
Absolutely, Brendan. All right, the pitchers got to have a great performance today on both ends. Jake Fiorito for the Unicorns going to start it off, and then Colin Ledbetter on the opposite end for the Mammoths. Both have to have stellar outings. The Mammoths themselves have to go the full distance, though. They have to go all 9 innings, play through every single inning like it was the first inning, get after this Unicorns team because they're going to get up on top of them right away. And the Mammoths are having a little difficulty finishing out games, especially when it comes to the bullpen. Now on the opposite end, the Unicorns, they need to get up on top of the Mammoths very early and keep the pressure on keep their foot on the throat, as one would say, and keep adding pressure as the game goes on so they can pick up another win, maybe the 23rd of the season.
It'll be that man on the mound to start things off for the Unicorns, Jake Fiorito, a righty out of Woodstock, Illinois, 23 years old. 13 appearances for him this year, couple starts, couple in relief. This will be his 9th start. He holds a 2-2 record, does also have a save to his name. He's kept the ERA below 4 all season long in 40 innings of work. That's in the upper echelon of the league. He'll go against Morales, Brown, and Emmett to start things off here in the top of the first on Catholic night at the ballpark. Good Friday night crowd. Very busy over in the Chevy Pavilion and the umbrellas down the left field foul line. Just to the left of the home Utica Unicorns third base side dugout. Take a look at the defense behind Fiorito. It's the newcomer Brunson in left, Drew Galassi, the MVP of the week so far for the Unicorns. He's out in center, and Castro gets the start over in right. It's Kevin Lambert and Ari Sakopoulos on the corners. Hodo and Attilis are the double play combination up the middle, and Matt Parkinson rounds out the battery as the starting catcher. Morales leads things off. He's only played 6 games in the USPBL, got here just over a week ago, 5 for 20 in those first 6 games.
Mammoth sporting those Flintstone jerseys, one of my favorites.
First pitch, outside ball at 7:07 for Jake. It's a 2-seam fastball, curveball, changeup, slider. Morales stands tight in that right-handed batter's box. The fastball again just a little bit outside, 2-0. Morales comes out of Utah Valley State, Division I program collegiately. Played 3 seasons there, a career .321 college batting average. A little bit of power too, 10 home runs. 2-0 fly ball to right field. Castro barely has to move, just a few steps to his left for the first out.
Sun shining bright out there in the right field.
Yeah, I talked to Bryant Schellenbarger, the right fielder, coincidentally, of the Hoppers pregame today, and he talked about the Wednesday game against this Unicorns squad, and he said, man, you know, we were talking about the shadows. As you can see there, the mound covered in the shadow of the roof over there on the left side. As the sun gets lower, those beams down the foul line on the third base line that you can see will become more of a factor on the tracking of the ball to the plate. And he said, man, we just could not see the ball out of the hand on Wednesday until the sun finally disappeared and went down and the lights came on. Elijah Brown, .235 batting average, fouls the first pitch off.
Brown been on a pretty good tear lately, getting an extra base hit in the Wednesday or the non-public game, and here's a shot.
Out there to right center, but playable for Galassi. He makes another grab. 2 quick flyouts for the first 2 outs. Brings up the other lefty, Connor Emmett.
4 lefties in this Mammoth order today, only 2 for the Unicorns. It's Galassi and Sakopoulos for the Unicorns. Galassi in a different spot in the order than usual.
First pitch in for a strike. For Fiorito, it's mainly about the contact. Gives up a significant amount of contact, just above average league-wide. But most of it is soft, just like this little dribbler here for Lambert. Throws over to first, and an easy breeze 1-2-3 inning to start things off for Fiorito and the Unicorns. Now it's time for our thrifty florist sweetheart of the game. Carol Wolfbauer is with today's sweetheart and with JJ, the field general, who picked out a wonderful bouquet from Thrifty Florist, who sponsors our sweetheart of the game every game here on the USPBL network.
Thanks to our friends at Thrifty Florist, JJ was able to give our friend Donna here a beautiful bouquet of flowers. And Donna is actually here with GMC.
Donna is our sweetheart of the game today. Congratulations to Donna. Now it's time to take a look at our Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Facts. There are 1 billion Catholics in the world. That's a big number.
Not just Christian, but Catholic Christian.
Yes.
Wow.
Number 2, Brazil has more Catholics than Italy, France, and Poland combined. I would not have guessed that.
Yeah, that's
would have thought the European countries would have the lead there.
Brazil's also got a large landmass, though. Lots of people that live down there.
And our final Freaky Fast Fact tonight, there are more than 20,000 Catholic churches in the United States. All our freaky fast facts tailoring to Catholic night here at the ballpark. Sponsored by Alliance Catholic Credit Union. Colin Ledbetter getting ready for his first pitches tonight. Take a look at the defense behind him for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. It's Greg Vaughn Jr. in left, Leaf in center, and Connor Emmett over in right. Elijah Brown at first and Houston Parker at third. Those are your corner infielders. And then Connor Bagneski and Mitch Morales, the double play combination up the middle. And as we mentioned, Sam Loda catching the pitches behind the plate. Bagneski over there at short is a position that he has not played a lot this season. But he played there last night in the win over the Beavers. And I got to say, Nick, he was impressive in really some of the grabs and throws he was making.
Even turning a couple double plays last night, too, proving himself that he can play in multiple positions.
There was a big double play with the bases loaded in the 8th inning. The Beavers down by 4, trying to get back into a game that they trailed the entire time with only 1 out. They grounded into a double play that fired up the Mammoths and kind of held their spirits high enough to win that game by a final of 6-2.
See if Colin Ledbetter utilizes his defense and Bagneski over there at shortstop today.
First pitch fastball, 98. It's a misread on our scoreboard. It's 90 on our flight scope here. Still in for a strike to Castro. Attilis and Galassi on deck behind him, due up here in the first. That one's outside at 81. For Ledbetter, it's the sinker, slider, changeup. And obviously we know so much about that slider. It's been arguably the most difficult pitch to hit this entire season for any team and any player. He throws those two, the sinker and the slider, a combined 96.8%. So we're going to see those a lot.
You can see he favors them. You would say that.
I think so. 1-2 on Castro. Batting .208 before today. Check the swing, that's in the dirt. They say he went for strike 3. Ledbetter starts the day off with a K.
That'd be his 51st K of the season.
Ledbetter with only 13 walks to go along with that.
Some good numbers, especially transitioning from relief to starting.
Yeah, he was the main reliever and closer for the Mammoths for the better part of this season for about 12 games. And then Greg Lokinen, a starter that they had, he went on to the American Association. Adrian Cook did as well. They lost some of their starters to injury, and Ledbetter had to step up. And since then, he's become their ace on the mound. 1-0 to Attilis, hits him right in the number. And Ledbetter follows up his leadoff strikeout with a hit batter.
Owen just got away from him. Gives himself up and asks if he's all right over there. And it looks like Louis Attilis is okay.
Now there's some speed on the base paths for Attilis, and you never want to put a base runner on in front of this guy. Who knows what he can do? He talked to us in the post-game interview on Wednesday and said his philosophy has been see ball, hit ball, and he didn't add crush ball, but that's what it's been lately for Drew Galassi.
Absolutely. This guy has been seeing meatballs at the plate and taking them for a ride.
Slider in for a strike. Colin Ledbetter, one of the best pitchers in the league at throwing first pitch strikes over 60% of the time. Attilis with a short lead at first, tightening the oven mitt. Usually an indication of someone who wants to go. He fakes like it. Sinker misses inside for ball 1. We talked about Ledbetter switching over to a starter. He did have a relief appearance in a non-public on Tuesday for the Mammoths. Did pitch 1 inning, struck out a batter, and faced 3. Didn't give up anything else. 1-1, cut on and missed. For Colin, he gave up just 2 hits in 4 innings in his first start this season. 4 hits in 7 innings in his second one. And a little bit of a rougher outing in his third start. 3 runs on 5 hits in just 4 innings a week ago. Escalasi fouls the 1-2 back.
Ledbetter in his last start against the Utica Unicorns ended up with the win, a 3-1 victory. Pitched 6 innings and striking out 9. Giving up only 1 run and walking none.
Galassi swings and misses, down on strikes. First 2 outs are both in the form of Ks for Colin Ledbetter. Now 1 on and 2 out for this man, Ari Sakopoulos. So Ledbetter strikes out the second place batter in the league for home runs and RBIs, and then has to face the first place batter in the league for home runs and RBIs. Ari Sakopoulos has 10 dingers and 29 ribbies this season. Outside ball 1.
Obviously, and sure enough, these are the only 2 lefties he'll face, and both of them are proving themselves to be the 3 and 4 hitters, rightfully so.
The numbers for Sakopoulos are of the kind that jump off the page at you right away, especially when you look at where they rank among the league. His OPS of 1109 is 3rd in the league, but that's over the course of 30 games. We have a few newcomers who have an almost 2,000 OPS with a 1 double or something like that. So he's got the league lead 1.1 OPS. Pops this one up foul. 3rd in the league in slugging at 683. 1st in average distance.
I can believe that one.
If Ari swings the bat, on average, it will travel 250 feet.
Wow, that's incredible.
1st in number of barreled baseballs this year. 2-1. Inside fastball just off the plate for Colin.
There's some fans out there on the lawn waiting for an Ari Sakopoulos dinger.
Wouldn't be surprised if Sakopoulos works a walk here. His 20 this season are 2nd in the league. He worked 4 in the game on Wednesday.
Yeah, I was going to say he's had quite a few of them recently.
There goes Attilis on the 3-1, and it's pounded foul. And for Sakopoulos, he was 0 for 1 with 4 walks. He unfortunately didn't get to join in on the fun in the 13-batter, 8-run 8th inning en route to the Unicorns' 11-0 win. Attilis running on the pitch again, and there, for the 5th time in 6 at-bats, his last 6, Ari Sakopoulos is awarded first base for free.
And sometimes it just happens. It'd be like that, you know. You don't get a pitch that you like. Be a team player, you get on base.
Hey, I mean, I get it, especially early in the game with a runner on already. Why would you pitch to him?
Right.
He's proven so many pitchers and coaches wrong time again. But it doesn't get easier behind him. Noah Childress with his .360 batting average steps into the batter's box. Thought about going late off, and that pitch is high for ball 1.
And we were talking earlier in the game, or the pregame, with Drew Galassi hitting .293. That's 4th in this lineup.
Yeah.
It's incredible. This team is just chocked full of great batters who are hitting above 300.
Childress with 18 RBIs this year. Trying to untie this game early. He lost his bat. He broke it, but that's going to drop for a single. Attilis is going to be waved around. Emmett picks it up in right field. There will be no throw home, and Noah Childress comes through again. Gets an RBI single, and the Unicorns strike first blood.
That bat dies a hero.
Yeah, that thing shattered at the knob, and it looked like 85% of that bat flew back and hit the screen behind home plate. Sakopoulos was able to scoot over to second on the little bloop single from Childress that scores a run. Swing and a miss from Kevin Lambert stepping in. Lambert, the third baseman today. It's been a back and forth year for him. Hitting .206 right now. Has shown some pop with 4 home runs. Just hasn't been able to materialize into some consistency for him. Slider in for a strike. Swing and a miss has been a struggle factor this year for Kevin as well. 30 strikeouts, only 8 walks, behind 0-2. Ledbetter trying to get out of the inning with only 1 run coming across. Sinker, no.
Just off the plate.
Sakopoulos at second, Childress at first. Morales holding Sakopoulos on at second base. Wide open on the right side of the infield for Lambert. Checked his swing. He went too far. Colin Ledbetter records all 3 outs by virtue of swinging strikeouts, but the Unicorns do scratch one across. They lead 1-0 after 1.
I'm all in with HR and Organizational Development Council.
I'm all in with Marketing and Business Development Council.
I'm all in with Operations and Member Experience Council.
I'm all in with CEO Council.
I'm all in with Lending Council.
I'm all in with CFO Council.
I'm all in with Technology Council.
Our credit union is all in with CUNA Councils.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward. Not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Welcome back. Nick Matthews and Brendan Shabath bringing you the call. And boy, Nick, it feels like we've said this a lot this year. Unicorns up 1-0 after 1. A 1-2-3 inning for Fiorito on the mound. And then on the other side, the Unicorns send 6 to the plate, do get a base hit, a walk, and also score a run. It just feels like so often this season, and perhaps maybe that's why they're 12 games above 500 and in first place. They've jumped out to an early lead. Whether it's 1 run or it's 4, it's been an early lead in the first 2 innings.
Absolutely, yeah. It's the product of a great lineup that Jim Essien has constructed. When you load the lineup full of good placement players who can put the ball in play and get on base and produce runs very early, it's a very good tactic to have a strong offense as something that you can rely on and scoring a lot and scoring often and getting off to an early lead.
First pitch fastball on the outside corner to Houston Parker, the cleanup hitter today, leading off here in the second. 0-1 outside. Hootie, as they call him, comes into this game with a .286 batting average. 3 home runs to his name, 20 RBIs. That's third place in the league. Leads the Mammoths. Looks at a curveball in the dirt. Two balls, 1 strike. This is back up the middle and a leadoff base hit for Houston Parker.
Good piece of hitting there, right back up the middle. Good smooth swing.
So Parker puts the leadoff runner on for Brian Leaf. And we can pretty much definitively say this at-bat is going to go one of two ways. Leaf is pretty much all or nothing this season when he swings. And he swings a lot. He swings at 57% of the pitches that he sees, which is right up there with the league most. And first pitch out to center. That's a frozen rope, but it's right to Drew Galassi, who steps in and makes a grab. And I was going to say, it's either going to be a strikeout for Leaf or a hard-hit ball, and it was a very hard-hit contact out there to center.
Yeah, the guy can really put the barrel on the ball. When he can get a piece of it, it's going to be very difficult for the fielders to field it because it's so quick off the bat.
Now digging in, Greg Vaughn Jr.
Here's a guy that is very disciplined at the plate and sees a lot of pitches.
He's been a bench bat a lot of the season for the Mammoths. He's a veteran who's been in the USPBL for 2 years before this one. Has taken a little bit of a backseat role this year. Gets the start today in left field, but he's been a leader in that clubhouse, not just by his voice, but leading by action as well. You talked about his plate discipline. Greg will look at, on average, 6 pitches every at-bat. He only looks at 2 here, hits a fly ball to right, pushes Castro just short of the warning track. And quickly 2 up and 2 down after the leadoff single from Houston Parker.
Bring up the newcomer, Sam Loda, who had an excellent day at the plate last night.
2 for 3, a double, 2 RBIs, 2 walks, 1 walk, hit by pitch.
It's a good way to start off the season.
Outside corner just off the plate for Fiorito. Parker over at first, likely not going to run. 2 for 3 this year on stolen bases. Fiorito's thinking about it, though, here with 2 outs. He works Hootie back to the bag. Infield and outfield playing Loda straight up. Obviously not a lot of data on this guy. Only 5 plate appearances at the professional level. In for a strike. As we mentioned, Loda comes from Central Connecticut State at the Division I level. A native of Connecticut as well. He was all-conference his last 2 years there.
Hit .297 this past season.
Was on the Buster Posey watch list both his senior year this past summer and his junior year for the best collegiate catcher. Two-one. That's lined into right, a base hit. Sam Loda just keeps on hitting right now. Looking comfortable at the professional level.
Making it look very easy right now.
Seems like a guy that Vaughn Joshua would like. Seems like he has a simple approach to the plate. Doesn't try to do too much. Isn't too worried about bat speed or launch angle. And hit the ball where it's pitched. It's pitched on the outside. Okay, push it into right. Base hit.
Simplifies the game very much. A lot more batters should take note of that. It's a good way to go about playing this game.
Tonight's DH for the Mammoths, Wade Weinberger Jr. swings and misses at strike 1. It's been fastball heavy early for Fiorito. It's mainly just fastball and curveball. The changeup and slider are used sparingly, but the same amount. A little less than 10% for both of them. No balls, 1 strike, and Weinberger jackknifes out of the way of that one. Wade, another guy who's been good at the walks this year, told us the story of helping his wife studying to become an osteopath and, in layman's terms, an eye doctor. And she found out he had 2 stigmatisms in his eyes. And he needed glasses. And then he could start to see spin on the baseball. Before, he just thought it was something he had trouble seeing. In college, the batter's eye where he went was kind of a tough spot anyways. But got contact, starting to see the ball better, sees the spin, and professionally has started to work some walks.
Before that was probably just a white blob.
Top 5 in the league in walk percent this year. That one gets over the head of Parkinson. Now runners in scoring position for Weinberger. He spent those college days at Bryan College in the NAIA for 5 seasons. So the leadoff man, Parker, got on with a single, and a line out to center and a fly out to right. Gave us 2 outs. Loda got a single to right last at bat. Now here's Weinberger facing the 2-2. Got him, strike 3. He watched it go by there. A curveball from Fiorito ends the threat. It's still 1-0 Unicorns. They bat in the bottom of the second on the other side of this break.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Welcome back to the ballpark. Unicorns leading this one 1-0 early. Colin Ledbetter faced 6 batters last inning, struck out 3 of them, but a hit by pitch to Luis Attilis, a walk to Ari Sakopoulos, and then a Noah Childress bloop single into right scored Attilis to give them that 1-0 lead. There's a good look at the packed pavilion tonight.
It's hopping right now.
It'll be Brunson, Parkinson, and Hodo, bottom of the order, 7, 8, 9 for the Unicorns here in inning number 2.
All parts of the ballpark looking very nice. Lots of moving and shaking going on.
Beautiful day for baseball, too. It's been low 80s and sunny, partly cloudy, but nothing major all day.
It's a very pleasant day. Open up the windows. Get some nice fresh air inside the houses.
Brunson playing in just his 2nd game professionally, native of Auburn, Indiana. Younger guy, 22 years old, looks at ball 1 inside. Spent a year at Purdue Fort Wayne, and then transferred to St. Francis, Indiana. Spent his final 2 collegiate seasons there. Was a junior college guy before that. Outside corner, strike 1 from Ledbetter. Second inning on the USPBL network is brought to you by Budweiser. Fly ball to center. Back a few steps is Leaf. Puts the squeeze on it. 1 up and 1 down as Brunson flies out.
Now batting the catcher, number 23, Matt Parkinson.
Ball is not exactly jumping off the bat yet. We haven't seen too many hard hit ones either. I actually have 0 on my score sheet. So far, Flight Scope has concurred, but also not everyone has been tracked as far as exit velocity. Here's the catcher, Parkinson. Ooh, slider that for a long, long time looked like it was going to drill Parkinson, but it just came back. Still missed the plate. But, man, when a pitch does that, you know it's moving.
Oh, yeah. And it just sat there, too.
Follows it up with an inside fastball that Parkinson's able to lay off of. 91 from Ledbetter on that last pitch. That slider finds its way there for strike one. He really likes using that slider on, to our vantage point, the left side of the plate. Doesn't matter whether it's a righty or a lefty batter. For righties, obviously, it's a front door slider. For lefties, the back door. It's so deceptive that it works to both sides. Parkinson pops this one up just past the shortstop. Bagneski going back to make a nice little grab.
Good range over there by Connor.
Next up, the second baseman, number 2, John Hodo.
Looked like it might have dropped in right behind him.
And in talking about that slider, when you look at the metrics of it, that's actually the way pitch type metrics work. Is the slider has been the final pitch of 67 at-bats this year for Ledbetter. And he has 38 strikeouts with it this year. Swing and a miss from Hodo.
It's a good finisher pitch for Colin.
You compare that to his fastball, the sinker, in 62 at-bats. He has 7 strikeouts with it. Hodo, this one's on the ground to short. Bagneski, a little funky hop, but he makes the play. Bagneski continues to impress with a couple nice plays in the 6-hole defensively. 1-2-3 breeze for Ledbetter in the second.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
We joined Green Path and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to do it.
The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing Green Path is a no-brainer.
The lawn looking pretty and like a good place to catch a baseball game and perhaps a baseball itself.
Absolutely. Or even some Rays.
Seen some number of baseballs go out to the berm in right field against a bunch of the lefty hitters this year. Some of the best home run hitters this season are lefties. Nick Kreitzer, obviously Ari Sakopoulos, Drew Galassi. Just a few names that come to mind. Jake Fiorito working on 23 pitches through 2 innings right now. We can expect probably 4 out of him. The longest he's gone in a start this year was 6. That was back in mid-July, that was. On the ground from Bagneski, right to the first baseman, Sakopoulos. He'll flip to Fiorito, who's got to turn on the jets a little bit to beat Bagneski by a step. 1 pitch and 1 out.
And towards the end of that play, it looked like a track race over to first base. Sakopoulos might have threw that one just a little early to Jake, but Jake able to run it out.
Fiorito hasn't gone any less than 3 innings in a start this year. In his 6-inning start back in mid-July, he was lights out. Only 3 hits, 1 earned run. Struck out 6 in that game. That was against the Beavers back on the 14th. He's looked sharp early tonight. He's only faced 9 batters, 3 in the first, 5 in the second. Gave up 2 hits, but was able to strand both those runners in scoring position. The ball 1 to Morales on the ground. Attilis there at short. Mr. Steady defensively makes the play.
Attilis over there, the sure glove.
He was a guy who had a really good BP today. Has not shown much power this season. No home runs for Attilis. A few doubles, but he's been a gap-to-gap stationary hitter this season, and he's been lights out in the past 10 games for the Unicorns and really turned his season around. But he was cranking a few home runs, getting some cheers from his teammates and some of the other guys who were here in early batting practice today. See if that translates at all to tonight's game.
Here's another guy that hits from gap to gap.
Brown's been a great, perhaps the best, contact hitter this season. Looks at a curveball for strike 1. I was talking to Austin Shea pregame today, the starting pitcher for the Beavers, and Brown is the definition of a bad ball hitter. His contact percent outside the zone, pitches outside the zone that is in the top 5 in the league. And, you know, we were talking to Shea and Josh Hines, assistant manager for the Beavers, who were just getting some early work in today. And they were saying, you know, I was talking to them about last night in the loss, and Josh jokingly said he didn't want to talk about it. But they brought up that, how do you pitch to Elijah Brown? Shea mentioned that he threw him a changeup in the dirt that hit the plate. Brown golfed at it and hit it up the middle for a single to center field last night. And
yeah, it's very tough when you have somebody as disciplined and is able to get the bat on, like you said, something that's in the dirt or even high up in the zone and can still take it for a ride. It's very difficult to pitch around Elijah. And I think pitchers are still trying to figure that out.
Full count now for Brown. He'll make you throw him a strike. Walks a fair amount. 3-2. Smacked on the ground, first base. Sakopoulos snow cones it in his glove on the ground. But the second 1-2-3 inning tonight for Jake Fiorito. He's looked good through 3. Looking for some run support. That's your 5th third out of the game. Brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. And also means it's time for JJ, the water boy, to head out there and make his nightly delivery and get a little compensation in return. It's only right.
It's only right, exactly. Atta boy.
Now JJ's going to go play some Frisbee. We're going to take a look at the DTE Kid Race, the mascot.
Will today be the day?
No. It's Matt going against Lancelot. Lancelot's a fan favorite. We've got the Lancelot bobblehead up here in the booth, Darth Lancer from Star Wars Night.
Those things are wicked. Absolutely sweet.
This one lost his horn, though. Somehow his horn broke. At least the real Lancelot still has his horn.
Yeah.
Look at Matt. Quick start out to second base. He can even chill there for a little bit. He rounds the bag.
He's got a comfortable lead right now.
Lancelot's way behind. He's got a hand near the mouth. He looks to be out of breath and out of shape and out of this race. Matt wins it by a mile.
He lost a tire.
Oh, Matt lost a shoe. He's still going.
He wants the second lap.
He said, I got to go back to where I started. Lancelot didn't even make it to home plate. Matt made it twice. He wins our Kid Race the Mascot tonight, and Matt is still going.
Jim Essian's like, I don't know what to do.
You want to play third?
You want to play?
Houston Parker trying to play this ball game. I think Matt
wants in.
Might get the message now. He got his shoe back, thanks to Kara for that. She's going to walk him off the field. Great job, Kara. Now we're about ready for the bottom of the third. 1-0 Unicorns lead. Top of the order coming up. Lucky Castro. That's Leandy's nickname. He struck out his first time up. I don't see what the delay is. We're looking over towards the third base side, it looks like, our umpires and some of the fielders. I think we're good now, though. Slider did him in 80 miles an hour. That's a lower end for Ledbetter as well, and it had Castro way off balance.
Ooh.
That one just misses.
Even his fastball has some natural movement that freezes batters.
One in on the hands, and Castro just able to fight it off, but it's going to be a ground out to Bagneski at short.
Good job by Bagneski to stop his momentum and double clutch and get the sure out.
Now Luis Atilis steps in. Tonight's beer batter, so a little bit of extra incentive for the fans to cheer him on tonight, and probably a good guy to have as the beer batter. Singles and doubles left and right for Luis.
Exactly what the Unicorns need right now is just a man on.
First pitch swinging, little blooper into right, coming in and making the grab there is Connor Emmett.
Another soft contact for Colin Ledbetter.
36 pitches for Ledbetter, only 4 so far this inning, and he's already got 2 outs. He's keeping the count low, so is his man on the mound for the Unicorns, Jake Fiorito.
It's a good thing that nobody's on for this man. A little sigh of relief.
I think that's the big thing in going against the heart of this Unicorns order as Galassi swings at the first pitch. Back to left. Vaughn there just in front of the wall. He'll make the grab. Galassi scared everybody for a second.
It just kept going back.
Instead, it's a long F7 to end the inning. 1-0 Unicorns through 3.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
We joined Green Path and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to do it.
The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing Green Path is a no-brainer.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. Choose great seats from over 125,000 live events, all backed with a TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Get your tickets smarter at ticketsmarter.com.
3 innings of play. The Unicorns lead at 1-0. Fiorito continuing his good start for the 4th. And Nick, I use highlighter for strikeouts and walks in my scorebook, and luckily for me, I'm not running out of ink. There hasn't been a lot on either side. A walk and 3 strikeouts for Ledbetter, just 1 strikeout for Fiorito, but both guys have looked really good.
Absolutely. They're both utilizing their defense is what it's coming down to, and their defenses are being absolutely stellar for them and making the good plays that they are and getting soft contact on their end to help them make the good plays.
All season, the contact that these guys have given up, and for Fiorito, it's more than Ledbetter, but it's been soft, and it's continuing tonight. We've got to wait for a group photo to commence over there by the Mammoths bullpen, and once they get off the playing field, we'll be ready. Probably a good thing we wait for them too with the lefty Emmett.
Yeah. Don't want anybody getting doinked in the head.
Could see him rope one down the pole side.
It's 2 consecutive innings where we've had fans delay the game.
Emmett, another newcomer to the USPBL. He comes from Colleyville, Texas. We've now got a few Texans in the league. Malik Bolin, another one that comes to mind, playing over there. Or actually, he's on the bench tonight. He gets a day off for the Unicorns. He's typically been out there in left. Emmett spent his college days at Central Arkansas. 3 years there, 119 games, 298 batting average, almost 300 in 120 games. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. Even starting pitcher, Colin Ledbetter, another Texan.
20 home runs and 77 RBIs for Emmett at Central Arkansas. He looks at a curveball for a strike. Per usual, it's been mainly curveball and 2-seam tonight for Fiorito, and why go away when it's been working? We might have seen 1 or 2 sliders at this point. They're a little hard to differentiate from the curveball. That one's a fastball. Off the plate, 2-1. Emmett's 3 for 10 in his 3-game professional start. 3 for 11 with the ground out in the first.
Plays off that pitch.
Would not offer at the 2-seam fastball. 3 balls, 1 strike on Connor.
He's got 1 to give here.
And a walk. Perhaps something can brew for the Mammoths here in the 4th. It felt like they had their opportunity in the 2nd where they got 2 hits, but those were the bread of a sandwich. That was 2 hard contact outs from Brian Leaf and Greg Vaughn Jr., and then the backwards K to Wayne Weinberger shut down the threat in its tracks. But we talked about it earlier. Fiorito, this tends to be his limit. The 4th inning is where most of his starts have ended. Usually he gets through the 4th and does not come out for the 5th. But leadoff runner on here in the 4th for Westside.
And for Houston Parker, this is a good sign because he's hitting .320 right now with a runner on base this season.
He's been an RBI machine all year for the Woolly Mammoths, whether it's getting hit by a pitch or getting a double into the gap or a grand slam that hits the right field foul pole. He's brought home the most runners of any Mammoth. Doesn't hit the ball particularly hard, Houston. Not quite what you would expect from someone in the 4-hole, but he's so consistent at getting on base and coming up clutch. Just has a knack for finding a way to bring any runner on around to cross the plate.
Yeah, the definition for a cleanup hitter isn't very cut and dry. It's more abstract. He can have or be the 4 hitter and still clean it up by just getting doubles or getting on base and driving in runs however he can.
Fiorito at risk of walking the first two. See if he gives Parker anything to hit. He does not. And he will just accept the walk. 5 pitches to Emmett and 4 to Houston Parker. 2 on, nobody out for Brian Leaf.
As good a chance as any for a hard hit ball from Leaf.
So those 2 walks are the first today for Fiorito.
Your highlighters are now getting some work.
Yeah. Just makes it easier to see, you know, when I'm tallying at the end or midway through the game.
I do columns because I'm colorblind, so I can't do that.
Gotcha. Yeah, that wouldn't help you.
No, it wouldn't help me at all. That's why I like to go with the pattern jerseys, something that's different that can catch my eye. That's why I like the Mammoth jerseys.
Leaf sitting on a ball and no strikes right now. Curveball left it up a little bit for him, but Leaf didn't want to offer at it. We alluded to it earlier, didn't get to finish the point. It's pretty much all or nothing when Leaf swings. The strikeout rate is among the league worst at 39%, but the barrel rate is league best. 1-1, that gets away from Parkinson. Parker went to second, but Emmett didn't go to third. Now Emmett's going to be out by a mile. Wait, can they wiggle out of this? Parker's just going to stay at second, and Emmett will be tagged out there by Lambert. So Emmett is out, and Houston Parker is safe. All in all, it's just a lost base runner and a gained out for the Mammoths. Miscommunication between those two on the paths.
Looked like Houston Parker committed to going to second base, and Connor Emmett wasn't quite sold on going to third and stopped halfway in between second and third. Parker already occupied second base, and Emmett ends up getting tagged out.
So Parker's afforded second on a wild pitch. Emmett goes back to the bench after the leadoff walk. So that helps Fiorito a little bit, but still a man in scoring position for Brian Leaf. He looks at strike 2. And Emmett has already been thrown out in his short professional career. He got thrown out trying to steal a base earlier in the week, so maybe a little weariness from him to take third there, and Leaf went down on swings, offered at a curveball that was low and outside for out number 2.
Fiorito taking advantage of that run down out. Now it quickly turns the tables with 2 outs and only 1 on. After giving up the first 2 batters to walks. Now it's up to Vaughn Jr. to drive in Houston.
First pitch curveball. Fiorito's gone away from the fastball in this inning. We've seen more curveballs, I'd be willing to bet, than we've seen in the other innings. This is pitch number 48 on the way for Jake. Goes back to the fastball, but it still misses low and outside. Vaughn, the Sacramento native with only 5 RBIs this year, does have a home run. (2-0) nips the corner. It's a big pitch for Jake, because you think if he walks Vaughn here, Loda, who's just been base hits galore, waits on deck, and now 3-1. He's at risk of doing that.
And Vaughn Jr. knows that in the back of his mind, that Loda's been having pretty good days at the plate. He wants to get on and join Houston Parker on the base path.
3 balls, 1 strike. 2 down and only a 1-run lead for the Unicorns. Fly ball, right field, going back is Castro onto the warning track. Just in front of the wall, he'll make the catch. Greg Vaughn gave it a ride, and again, the Mammoths held scoreless and strand a runner. Slim 1-run lead, but we've got a good ball game here through 3.5 innings. The Unicorns have the advantage.
Why are all these business owners smiling? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with one of the nation's top professional employer organizations provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and Tryon's team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well-earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
Welcome back to the US PBL Network. It's 1-0 Unicorns. Here in the bottom of the 4th, we mentioned the sellout crowd tonight. Those are the umbrellas over on the third base side near the Unicorns dugout that you see on the bottom of your screen there. It's a packed crowd tonight, Nick. It's got a good stadium buzz going on right now.
It really does. It's Friday night. It's great weather in downtown Utica, high 70s right now. Wow. And fireworks after this firework performance by these two pitchers coming up.
Sakopoulos, Childress, Lambert all batting here in the 4th. Ari looks at a fastball outside. Ten home runs, 29 RBIs for this left-handed power bat. 87 outside corner for strike one. I think Sakopoulos is saying that was the same pitch you just called a ball. Ari worked a full count walk back in the 1st inning. He kept that inning alive with that full count walk as there were 2 outs, and then the hitter behind him, Childress, able to get the RBI single. The Mammoths shifted 3 to the right on Sakopoulos. They here, I guess not early in the season, but they shift the most of anybody, and this is the first we're really starting to see it. 1-2 way outside, 2-2, and we talked to Taylor Jellikowski and Justin Karn about their philosophy and shifting and how do you know when to do it and where to put the fielders, and they just shift lefties. That's what it is. They just want to load that right side against the lefty hitters.
They're only going to have to do it twice every time through the order.
For Sakopoulos, it makes sense. He goes down on strikes here. Good wipeout slider from Colin Ledbetter.
Yeah, got the outside corner and had Ari fish at it.
For Sakopoulos, the shift does make sense. Majority, I'd be willing to say about 75-80% of his batted balls go to the right side of the infield. or at least the right side of second base, that is. Childress is 1 for 1 today. Defense goes back to straight up. On the ground to third. Parker, a little slide. Get up, throw. Brown can't get it just out of his reach. Childress is going to stretch this into 2. Loda's covering. He gets it just in front of his own dugout. A nice play by Houston Parker, but it's all for naught on the errant throw and catch.
Everything looks picture perfect and clean over there by Houston Parker on the front end, and on the back end it just fell apart.
So the error goes up on the board. We're going to give it to Brown on the catch. It's a tough little play over there. Parker made a nice defensive play, but Childress gets over to second. Brings up Lamberto, and he gets hit on the first pitch.
Second hit batter today from Colin Ledbetter.
The first one, Luis Atilis, back in the first inning, eventually came around to score in that inning. Ledbetter hoping that Lambert doesn't have the same fate. Sometimes this seems just the way the Unicorns get runs in unorthodox and unusual ways. You look at the first inning, strikeout, hit by pitch, strikeout, walk, broken bat, bloop single, and a run comes across. Obviously, they've had the innings that are single, double, double, single, home run, whatever, with the power bats that they've had. But there are a few innings left and right for this Unicorns team all season where they just find ways to scratch runs.
Yeah, definitely they take advantage of the mistakes given by the other team.
Brunson on the ground. This could be 2. Second one, relay to first. Got him in time. Inning-ending double play. What a way for the Mammoths to shift the momentum.
And slam the door.
Turn around that fourth inning. It's still 1-0 Unicorns as they strand 2. We head to the 5th.
As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at getascensionmichigancare.com.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. Choose great seats from over 125,000 live events, all backed with a TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Get your tickets smarter at ticketsmarter.com.
We've talked about the crowd, how good they've been tonight. Not just a big crowd, but energy as well. They're attentive to this game, attentive to the middle inning extracurriculars we have too, the little mini games we have for some of the kids on the field. So Fiorito heads out for the 5th. Very rarely goes more than 4. We'll see what he's got left in the tank here in the 5th. He'll go against the bottom of the order, Loda, Weinberger, and Bagneski. 7, 8, 9 hitters. They're 1 for 3 in their first 3 at-bats. Loda the only one having a single. How about that defense from the Mammoths in that last inning? Very similar to what they did, it seemed like all game long last night against the Beavers. Some big double plays, momentum shifting. Maybe the Beavers could scratch out a run and manufacture a little comeback, maybe play station to station, and the Mammoths shut it down. And again, looked like the Unicorns had a really good opportunity to add to their lead. And the very next pitch, 5-4-3.
Yeah, it's a very good momentum shift and a good confidence boost as you're going into the dugout and getting a chance to hit it with the sticks. and keep the momentum going on your side, because now the Unicorns are down because they had a double play, and now they have to go play defense after that and try to not give up any runs.
First pitch is a ball outside to Sam Loda. Last inning was a good opportunity for the Mammoths to start. It quickly went awry as the wild pitch to Brian Leaf. Houston Parker was on first. He took off for second. Emmett was on second. He did not take off for third, so he was caught out. And that negated what was a leadoff walk to Connor Emmett. And back-to-back walks to both him and Parker from Fiorito. He eventually struck out Leaf, then got a deep flyout from Greg Vaughn Jr. feet in front of the right field wall to end the inning. That's the best chance the Mammoths have had tonight.
Yeah, it was just poor base running on Emmett and Houston Parker's part, and shot themselves in the foot in that one on a potential tying game.
They did have two in scoring position back in the second, but that was with 2 outs in the bottom of the order at the plate. Full count to Sam Loda. He worked 1 walk in his debut. Seems like the plate discipline is good. Obviously, it's a very small sample size, but he has not taken a lot of off-balance swings. Payoff pitch. Popped it straight up. Over on the right side, Parkinson ditching the mask. Sakopoulos there, he bobbled it, and it drops.
Oof. Loda, you got life, and you're lucky, man. It's a very rare sight to see that Sakopoulos pops that one out of the glove.
Sakopoulos not playing a new position over at first. He's been a first baseman his entire life. When he got to college and to pro ball, coaches told him, he should experiment with expanding his game and where he can play, making him a more projectable player. So he started this season professionally in the outfield. He was over in left, was the starting left fielder for the Unicorns, was still hitting the cover off the ball at the plate. Now down goes Loda on the swing and a miss curveball. Fiorito finishes the job. But for Ari, he, since doing his stint over in left, wanted to get back to playing first base, where he's been his entire life ever since he was a kid. And Skip Johnson, Jim Essien obliged and put him back over there, and that's where he's been.
Occasionally when Malik Bolin is inside the game, Bolin might get the start at first base, and Sakopoulos also has the opportunity because he's such a good batter. He also might make an appearance in left still.
1 ball, no strikes to Weinberger. Big cut there. Evens the count 1 apiece. Weinberger struck out in the second. That's his only at-bat so far. 5th inning on the USPBL Network, brought to you by Dunham's. Inside, Weinberger scoots out of the way. The 2-1. Outside, 3-1. Jake has been impressive tonight. It feels like he's had a few counts that he's been behind. 2-1, 3-1, 3-0 that he's fought back in. Not all have resulted in outs or strikeouts, but he's given it his full effort. 3-1, in for a strike. Second full count this inning to the second batter, Weinberger. He'll step out of the box and reassess.
Yeah, there's some action. Nobody warming up, but there is some movement in the Unicorn pen.
Another full count, and Weinberger golfs it into left. Brunson is there to cut it off. It'll be a 1-out single for Wade.
That was a good plate appearance there by Wade Weinberger Jr. Working the count into his favor, 3-2, and then takes it the opposite way into the gap to get on base.
That's Rayrod throwing in that bullpen. Perry Bewley stretching. Looks like Austin Calopetro is the one sitting down in the back end. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw all 3 of those guys tonight in some order or another. In steps Bagneski with a runner on. He's only seen one pitch today. Now make it two, and he swings at both first pitches. This could be a double play. Attilas, behind his back throw to first. Not going to be in time, as it was a slow chopper up the middle, but Luis Attilas, fancy little play up the middle to get the lead runner.
That's not an easy play what he just did. A quick shuffle behind the back. Added little flair to get the out.
Attilas and Hodo have been a fun double play combination to watch all season long. They've developed a nice chemistry, become good friends. They've often hit next to each other in the order. They were 8-9 hitters together for a while until Attilas's bat got hot, and he's since moved around a little bit. They even do a handshake. I don't know if it's before every inning, but I've seen it before a number of them. Fly ball, left field, left center. Galassi was off on the read a little bit, but able to make the grab and a little smirk on the misread, but he still gets the out. Fiorito faces 4 in the 5th, and nobody scores. Still 1-0 Mammoths. They're going to bat on the other side of the break.
Dunham Sports is a proud partner of the USPBL. Big names, low prices, delivering value since 1937.
At Fifth Third Bank, we're working hard to make banking a Fifth Third better, which means we put 166.7% into everything we do.
I think you can only give 110%.
Well, with free checking, fraud protection services, and an automatic savings tool to help you quickly reach your goals, 166.7% is possible.
Oh, wait till my 8th graders hear about this. They're gonna be like, it's not possible. Well, yes it is.
This is banking, a Fifth Third better.
Back at the ballpark here on the USPBL network. 1-0 Unicorns. It's been that way since the bottom of the first. They scored 1 in that inning on an RBI bloop single from Noah Childress to right. Since then, nothing in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and top of the 5th so far from either team. Batting here in the bottom of the 5th, 8, 9, and 1 hitters for Utica: Parkinson, Hodo, and Castro. A combined 0 for 4 between those 3 hitters. Looking to change that trend right now is Matt Parkinson.
He popped out in his last at bat.
Checking in on the Facebook comments, Chelsea Cooper, our everyday in-game host who has the night off tonight, checks in and says, best crew around. Well, thanks, Chelsea. We appreciate you. Hoping you're having a good night off. We encourage anybody else that would like to chime in on YouTube and Facebook in the comments section wherever you're watching from. 1 ball, 1 strike on Matt. Parkinson this year hitting .253 for a long stretch, was well above 300 and the best hitting catcher in the league. He gets out of the way, but that's a strike from Ledbetter.
Parkinson, known for being a commander in the field, but also is having a heck of a season at the dish.
He has been beat up behind the plate all season long. He's been here since spring training. He hits that one out to left. Good 2-strike hitting from Matt Parkinson. Leadoff single.
That's the first Unicorn hit since the first inning.
And Parkinson comes from Carson Newman in the South Atlantic Conference. He spent 2 years there for college. Really good numbers, but he said that's catcher U for a lot of collegiate catchers. And one thing he was taught there, his catching coach believed if you're going to be the starting catcher for any team, you're going to catch every single day, and you're going to catch a lot. And he was hard on their knees and their hips. And, you know, Matt even said game days were better than practice days because they were easier. You didn't catch as much in game days than you did in practice and weren't worked as hard. But he said that's built him up to be the good pro that he is today. He's fought through a thumb injury, a nasty one that he hurt his thumb on earlier in the year. Caught a ball off that thumb on the glove. He had a meniscus injury that he's dealt with since spring training, says it's fine now. He downplays them. He says, I wouldn't even call them really injuries, but it's a tough kid.
Yeah, to say the least. It's a very mentally tough guy, and here's one back to us.
This one's right in front of the booth.
We actually could have had that one.
Wow. The Ackerman jersey makes the grab and gets a cheer. How about that? That's the closest one we've had all year.
It's the closest one we've had in a while.
You and I have talked about it. Jeremy and I have talked about it. It's hard for us to get a foul ball near us just with the angle and the way the screen is and how low we are. That's by far the closest one we've seen. Hodo back up the middle off the glove of Ledbetter. Morales will flip to second for one, throw to first. Hodo's too fast. He'll beat that out. They get the lead runner, though.
A couple lucky breaks there from the gloves of Ledbetter and Morales over there at second base, both gloving it and then flipping it to Bagneski to get the out at second, and then a speedy Hodo not in time at first. Series of events there.
There's our lucky fan just feet away from us up here in the booth. This is our camera angle to the press box just to the left of where Nick and I are sitting. So we're, if you can imagine, maybe, 7, 8 feet to the right. We're pretty close.
That was textbook by John Hodo to hit one right back, pop it up right over the screen, and had enough spin to even get that close to us.
Castro barely gets out of the way. The fielder's choice for Hodo. He's over there at first. Put out goes 5-4. Parkinson was the lead runner cut down at second. Now Castro batting with one on and one out and one ball. There goes Hodo. He's got speed. Loda, the throw down. It's a pretty good throw, just a little bit to the right. Nice job by Bagneski to back up Morales, but a stolen base for John Hodo. That's his 9th of the year.
Hodo's a speedy guy, and Bagneski putting in the little details of what a shortstop should do.
Hodo's only been cut down trying to steal a base once this season. Can often go first to third or first to home.
Big league now.
2-0, and Castro was excited to see a pitch in the zone, and he didn't. Saw a slider darting away, 2-1. The USPBL has seemed to follow the trend of a lot of other baseball leagues where there aren't necessarily fastball counts anymore. The 2-1 is typically a fastball count. There's a slider that Castro ducks out of the way of. It misses off the plate inside for 3-1. But we've seen a few guys, 3-0, 3-1, 2-1, 1-0. Pitches like that say, okay, I need a strike. That's often where you see a pitcher say, I need a strike. I'm going to throw my fastball in there. And as a hitter, you're timed up. You're ready for that. You know it's going to be in the zone. You know he wants to throw a strike. Fastball counts are what hitters look for. And this is another one for Castro, but he couldn't jump on that one.
And Loda is hurt a little bit there. Mammoth catchers keep taking a beating.
Take a look at the YouTube replay to see where Loda caught that one. Ooh, looks like it might have nicked his right elbow maybe, or his shoulder.
Forearm? I don't know.
It took a weird bounce. Oh, it's his right shoulder just above his pad. And you can see him kind of working it right there. Yeah, where that pad drops down, that cup-like pad on the right side, just where that juts in towards his upper body is where that ball hit, just above the padding. The trainer's going to come out and take a look at it. That pitch was in at 89, so you can assume it was relatively quick off the bat of Castro as well. Boy, would this be something? Another
catcher down.
Mammoths catcher. Duncan Hewitt was slid into in the doubleheader on Saturday. He went out with a knee injury. Nick Caruso took a foul ball back to the groin area, and he was out for a week or two. We think Caruso might be back soon. Both of the guys, it sounds like we're actually expecting to be back sooner than we originally thought. Loda's going to get a few warm-up pitches here. But back to our point about the fastball counts. You know, we've seen guys this year just not care that they need a strike, and they've caught a lot of hitters, like we saw Leandy earlier in this at bat, off balance.
Just by going with the off speed and something that you've been drilled into your head, hey, 3-0 count or hitter's count, they're gonna give you one.
And that's been the trend in baseball, especially in major leagues lately, that you just can't really quite predict it. And you would think maybe at a lower level indie ball like the USPBL that wouldn't be the case, but we're seeing otherwise. Full count now for Castro with Hodo in scoring position, only one down. Popped up foul on out of play.
And what can happen is, especially in a developmental league like this, where there is a hitter's count, they're going to swing. That's just how it is, and they want to get their reps, and if they find a pitch that they like, they're going to take it, especially if it's right down the middle.
We're not going to see too many bunts or too many hit-by pitches in this league. Guys do try their best to get out of the way, not just for their own safety, but they want to hit, as Castro pops this one right back to Ledbetter. And there was nobody covering third for a second. That's dangerous with Hodo's speed, but Bagneski quickly got over there. Hodo had no intentions of trying to get any closer. He knows he can come around with this guy up, Luis Attilis. Anything he puts into the outfield, Hodo can probably score on, and Attilis has done that a number of times this year.
Yeah, Luis Attilis, a great batter to find open green in the outfield. But yeah, that was an opportunity for Hodo to try to advance if he wanted to. He certainly had the speed, but Connor Bagneski caught sleeping over there watching the ball as Colin Ledbetter failed his position. You love to see it.
Pitchers are athletes too. Attilis fouls the first pitch back. 5 doubles on the year for him. Oh, 1. Misses for ball 1. We mentioned the 5 doubles for Attilis, 11 RBIs, more walks than strikeouts as well. Hits the ball for average, good plate discipline. He's been a great fielder this entire year. Inside. On the ground, fouled. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hit by pitch and a fly out so far tonight for Luis. Batting in the 2-hole, hasn't hit here a lot this year. For a good stretch of this season, had an average below 200. Now he's hitting 309.
His on-base percentage is up to .435. Second most on the team.
Fights that one off. before Wednesday's game, Attilis had a batting average of .433 in his last 10 games. In that game on Wednesday, he did go 1 for 4 with an RBI, and he fights another one foul. Usually a good sign for a hitter. When you keep fouling him off, means he's on this pitcher, just has to get the timing down. On Wednesday's game, Attilis 1 for 4, 2 runs scored, an RBI, and a walk as well. His one hit was a double. We'll try the 2-2 one more time with 2 down. On the ground, under the glove of a diving Brown. Hodo's going to be waved around. It gets past Emmett. Hodo's going to score, and the Unicorns lead it 2-0.
That's a great placed ball by Luis Attilis right underneath the glove of Elijah Brown. Unfortunate for him, but not unfortunate for Luis Attilis, who hits one right into right field to score the speedy Hodo.
Attilis with his 12th RBI of the season after battling through that at-bat. He fought 3 pitches off foul, 2 of them with 2 strikes, and he wins that fight against Ledbetter. They get their second run of the game, their first run since the first inning. Galassi trying to start a 2-out rally now.
This man is dangerous with men on position. There goes Attilis.
Attilis down to second. The throw from Loda is a little bit to the right, and Attilis, they say he slid under it. And he is safe. That's his first stolen base this season, and glad to see it. He was jabbing me a little bit because I was jabbing him when I saw him recently. You know, he said, I heard you on the broadcast. You were giving me crap for wearing the oven mitt but not stealing. I said, yeah, run, go steal. And there he does get his first stolen base this season, as you see that oven mitt on his left hand in red to protect the runners. Doing a little dance over there at second. Now Ledbetter delivers the 1-0, and it's outside.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising that he just got his first stolen base now with his speed, too. He can definitely cover some range over there at shortstop, so it kind of dazzles me that now that he got his first one. Congrats, Luis.
Popped foul and out of play from Galassi. Yeah, the struggle for Luis at the start of the year was just getting on base, and I think part of that was he did it so rarely. I shouldn't say so rarely, but when he did, he didn't want to get caught out. He wanted to stay on base and score runs. Perhaps that edged him a little bit away from trying to steal and get in scoring position.
Right, it's all about confidence, and getting on base is the first and foremost, the most important thing. And then as you do that more frequently like he has, which he's getting on base second most now on the team after this big stretch, he's now feeling inclined to go and steal some bases.
Thought about going for third there on the dropped pitch. Elected not to. 3 balls and only 1 strike on Drew Galassi. When he gets ahead in the count, look out. He's dangerous. Fought off foul. Full count.
Galassi working a 3-2 count. Leads the team in walks, hits, and runs. If he gets on, it's going to be a good chance that he could possibly come home with 2 outs. This Unicorns team really good with 2-out rallies.
Payoff pitch is outside. Ledbetter couldn't come up with it. He's sputtered through the last few innings. Had back-to-back 1-2-3 innings in the second and the third after facing 6 batters in the first. But since then, 4 batters in the fourth, and now he'll face his 6th batter in Ari Sakopoulos here in the 5th with a run having come across already. The good news for Colin is that there's 2 down.
The bad news is you got to get past the Greek here.
The last guy you want to see with runners on is this man. Fly ball left field, but hooking foul and out of play. For Sakopoulos, just with runners on base, he's hitting .316. A little bit less with them in scoring position, .219. Speed at both bases, the 0-1. High and outside. Anything in the gaps will certainly score Attilis, and with 2 outs, probably Galassi. They do have the shift on. It's Bagneski 3 steps to the right of the second base bag on the infield. The second baseman Morales is over in shallow right. Emmett in deep right. 1-1 slider in.
Sakopoulos went down swinging on a backdoor slider. Let's see if Ledbetter goes back to the same pitch.
Ari's also been a good 2-out hitter this year, almost 400 with 2 down. Obviously has been a clutch bat all season long. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. He goes down. Ledbetter gets him again. Back-to-back strikeouts for Ari Sakopoulos, and Colin Ledbetter only gives up 1, but avoids the jam of breaking this game open. He's had a good night. It's still just 2-0 Unicorns.
There are many things you can rely on in this world, like a sunny day brightening your mood, your mom baking the world's best apple pie, and never a dull moment in running your business. And when it comes to time-consuming HR tasks, you can rely on Tryon. Tryon can handle payroll and taxes, employee benefits, and more, so you can stay focused on attracting and retaining the best talent. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
What makes Detroit Mercy so unique is the fact that it's in the middle of Detroit, and especially with their service learning programs, you really get a chance to be a part of the community.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
Well, it's time for baseball, and when it's time for baseball, it's time for beer. Two Hearted Ale has been named the #1 beer in America for the past 4 years by members of the American Homebrewers Association. Play ball with the best. Two Hearted Ale, the iconic American IPA from Bell's Brewery in Comstock, Michigan. Please drink responsibly. 2-0 Unicorns. We're getting ready for the 6th inning here. It's Ray Rodriguez taking over for the starter, Jake Fiorito. Fiorito goes 5 complete, only gives up 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. A good day for Jake.
He did very well in shutting down the Mammoths' momentum around the base paths after securing 2 walks and only giving up a few hits along with it. But there was a couple innings where the Mammoths there were threatening to score but ended up shooting themselves in the foot and leaving a few men on base.
Rayrod is a newcomer to the league, just joining the Unicorns last week. Has 3 relief appearances that have totaled 3 2/3 innings. Only 2 hits given up, 1 run total, 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. A very small sample size for Ray. We'll see what he can do here. Wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe get 2 innings tonight. But we do know the Unicorns like to use a large contingent of their bullpen in almost every game. They don't play again until Sunday. They'll face these Mammoths in a rematch of tonight's game. Tomorrow's doubleheader is Beavers and Hoppers starting at 5:30. Brown, Emmett, and Parker. Brown looks at a ball outside. 6th inning here on the USPBL Network, brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. Brown flew out to center his first time up, grounded to first base his second time up. Foul back. For Rayrod, it's a 2-seam fastball, changeup, curveball, and a 4-seam fastball. He uses the 2-seam the most at 60% of the time. 1-1, Brown dances out of the way.
When leading off the inning, Elijah Brown is hitting .381. Something to note.
That 2-seam fastball for Rayrod sits just around 90 miles per hour. We've seen him hit 93. Outside, 3 balls, 1 strike on Brown. No runs on 3 hits for the Mammoths, an error for them. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Unicorns, no mistakes. The Mammoths have stranded 4 runners on the base paths, the Unicorns 6.
Elijah has the second most walks on the team. Could possibly draw one here, and he does.
6 pitches for Brown. He'll head to first base, and again, the Mammoths get a leadoff runner. In 3 of our 6 innings tonight, they've done that.
Just a matter of what can they do with it.
Have yet to bring that runner around to score. For Ray, that's his 4th walk of his short professional career. Not sure if Ray knows it or yet, but that's probably the guy you want to walk the least on this Mammoths team, because Elijah Brown will quickly turn a walk into a double or a triple. He's got 21 stolen bases this year as Rodriguez works him back. He's 21 for 21. You want to know what else of 21 he has? Strikeouts. As many stolen bases as strikeouts this year for Elijah Brown.
Absolutely crazy. That just shows you the discipline and the ability for him.
Emmett, a little slicer into the gap and left. Brown's easily going to stretch this over to third. He'll be held there. Runners on the corners, nobody out.
Smart decision by Taylor over there at third base.
Best opportunity tonight for the Mammoths to get the goose egg off the scoreboard is right now. Number 4 hitter Houston Parker up. First and third, 0 outs.
Another thing to note by Elijah Brown on the base path is he comes home a lot. And he has a chance to do it here and get his 20th run of the season. He leads the team in runs. He also leads the team in on-base percentage, too.
Any wild pitch will probably score Brown as well. That's happened a number of times this year, but Parker's just going to put it right to the shortstop, Attilis. Quick little bloop liner for an out. Off the bat, just the angle we're sitting at, that looked like it was almost the exact same hit that Connor Emmett had on a line out to left center.
This was just hit a little harder, a little chuckle there from Luis Attilis. Maybe not knowing exactly where the play was on that. Or just at least to prevent a possible base runner on second base.
So Parker quickly down. Now it's Leafs' turn. Try to bring that runner home. First pitch lined into left. That's going to drop in front of Brunson. Brown went back to tag. He'll score easily no matter what. And finally the Mammoths get on the board here in the 6th. We've got a 2-1 ball game on the single and RBI from Brian Leaf.
We talked about it earlier in the game. Brian Leaf is feast or famine when it comes to swinging at the plate. When he gets a hold of one, he's going to rip one into left just like that, or hit it hard somewhere else, or he'll swing and miss, and it's feast or famine with him. But he gets the job done and ties this, or at least shortens the lead for the Unicorns.
Well, we talked about it last night on a similar hit that Leaf had. It looked like he just took a nice, easy, smooth swing, hit it out there into left field for a single, and it was off the bat at like 91. That one, same thing, 95.3 miles per hour off of Brian Leaf's bat.
That's crazy.
And say what you want about the strikeout numbers and the chase and the swing and miss for him. Part of it he makes up for with how hard and how squarely he hits the ball when he does hit it.
Well, finally the Mammoths do something with that first base runner.
It's a bad day to be a barrel when Brian Leaf has to hit. Here's Greg Vaughn. He barreled one back in the fourth. Looked like he was going to take the lead on what would have been a 2-run shot on a deep fly to the right fielder, Castro. Ooh, dances out of the way, falls down a little bit. I don't think that hit him. Cat-like reflexes for Vaughn. He's going to go talk to Taylor Jellikowski, maybe take a second just to catch his breath. But he was feet away from a home run back in the fourth. That would have given the Mammoths a lead at the time.
It was just up against the wall in right field.
That's Emmett at second, Leaf at first. Both of those guys reached on a single. (1-0), and that's over the head of Attilis into left center. Galossi's going to grab it. Emmett will be held. Bases juiced for the Mammoths.
It's a good rip by Greg Vaughn Jr. right over Luis Attilis' head. It's a second one of the inning. And they're finding a weak spot in this Unicorns defense. It's right over into left center gap, and Jim Essien's going to shuffle his way out onto the field.
I think the day is done for Ray Rodriguez. 3 hits in 4 batters faced. He's already given up a run, and now the bases are loaded. Essien's going to come take the ball. It'll be Keon Taylor on the other side of this pitching change. Commercial break.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
So Keon Taylor relieves Ray Rodriguez here in the 6th. 1 run coming across already, and the bases juiced with only 1 down for Sam Loda, who's already got a base hit today. And if there's anybody that you need out of the Unicorns bullpen to come and shut down this inning that's already had 3 hits and 4 base runners, it's this guy.
Yeah, Keon Taylor has just been lights out this entire season and putting the stop on a lot of momentum changes and getting a lot of holds this season.
29 2/3 innings this year for Keon. 2.43 ERA. He got hit a little bit in his one and only start this year recently. Had an ERA below 1 for the longest time. First pitch in for a strike to Loda. It's the sidearm delivery for Taylor that has caused so much trouble for every hitter in this league. And Loda just goes back up the box with it. That's going to score Emmett. Leaf is going to be held. The bases stay loaded. It's 3 hits in a row for the Mammoths. They've tied this game at 2.
This is exactly what the Mammoths needed to finally break the ice and get on the board, and now they have bases loaded, 1 out. Wade Weinberger Jr., who is a great disciplined player and good veteran in situations like these. He's been an absolute menace with runners in scoring position all season long.
How about Sam Loda? He's got 4 professional hits, and 3 of them have an RBI attached to it. The corners are in, every infielder in, with the bases loaded and only 1 out for Weinberger. He swings at the first pitch as well, fouls it back to the screen.
He's 1 for 2 today. Had a 3-2 count. Hard-fought battle and wins it with a single in his last at-bat.
Leaf, Vaughn Jr., and Loda. The runners at third, second, and first base, all reaching by singles of themselves. Leaf and Loda had an RBI with it. Mammoths happy to play station to station. They've tied it. Both runs coming this inning. Weinberger swings, hits one on the ground. Could be a double play. Hodo backhand feed, now over to first. And the Unicorns give up 2. This game tied at 2 now. The twin killing there ends the threat, but the Mammoths have tied it at 2 apiece.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
Four hits in the last inning for the Mammoths, and 2 runs have tied this game at 2 apiece. Colin Ledbetter, the starter, stays out there for the bottom of the 6th to face the middle of the order, 5, 6, and 7 for the Unicorns. Childress, Lambert, and Brunson all due up. Big and much needed inning for the Mammoths.
Gives Colin Ledbetter a little bit of confidence going into this next inning, knowing that their momentum has shifted in their favor.
For the people that have followed the USPBL all season long, perhaps that are watching on the broadcast or here in the stadium at Jimmy John's Field, can't help but feel like there's a little bit of a pull for the Mammoths. And I talked about this with some people pregame today. That's nothing against the Unicorns. It's just that we want it to be a little bit closer come playoff time as far as the standings go. Make these games mean just a little bit more as we finish up August and head into September.
Makes it that more exciting as we head into the dog days of summer, where everybody's kind of in a lull. It just makes it a little bit more exciting as we approach the playoffs.
Swing and a miss for Childress, 1-1. Single and reached on an error in his 2 plate appearances today. It was an RBI single, one of just 2 runs tonight for the Unicorns. Outside. Ledbetter, just 3 total hits given up, and that's no surprise. He's top 5 in the league in opponent batting average. second in opponent slugging. They're just hitting .207 in the slug category against Ledbetter this year. Does not give up extra base hits. The appeal down to first. Childress didn't go. That makes it 3-1.
Opponents are only hitting 181 against him. Ledbetter's only given up also.
And I think that's a big reason for the success against this Unicorns team. They've done a lot of damage this year with the extra base hits, particularly the long ball.
And Ledbetter's been shut down in those categories too. Not that many extra base hits, 2 extra base hits, 1 a double and 1 home run.
With that walk, that's Childress's 11th of the year. Brings up Lambert. Seems like there's only 2 or 3 guys in the lineup that we would say aren't home run threats. Some obviously more than others. Lambert's a guy who is. He's got 4 on the year. Inside, he would love to have one here. Get the Unicorns back up to a 2-run lead. The sun has set, the lights are on. It's cooled off a little bit here in historic downtown Utica.
It'll be time for a jacket pretty soon.
And Loda's going to call time, go out to talk with Ledbetter. Bagneski's going to join in on the conversation from shortstop.
As we approach 9 o'clock, it's about 72 degrees in downtown Utica.
Now our home plate umpire is going to finish up this conversation. 1 ball, no strikes on Lambert. Ledbetter in his last start threw near 100 pitches. Right now sitting on 82. With a quick inning here, we could see him out for the 7th. Popped up foul. Brown's going to race over there. That's going to get out of play, though, back above the Cabana Suites. It bounces and out there onto M59. Fly ball, left field, deep. Vaughn's there. Ooh, just in front of the warning track. That was hard off the bat of Lambert. Looked like he was going to run into his 5th of the year, and it's just a long fly out.
Looks like he just didn't get enough of that one because it was a good swing, good contact, but it was just not enough of the baseball and got underneath it.
Boy, that really looked like a home run ball off the bat. It's not even a statistically hard hit ball by USPBL standards, 79 miles an hour. Heavy launch angle, maybe that's what it was. It got up into the air pretty quickly. Now here's Brunson with 1 on and 1 out. He's 0 for 2, grounded into a double play in the 4th. Flew out to center in the 2nd inning. Outside. 2 balls, no strikes on Brunson. Parkinson waits on deck. He would be next. Infield and outfield both straight up. Double play depth for the infield. 2-0. Lined out to center. That will drop in front of Brian Leaf. Bagneski going back on it. He'll let Leaf collect it.
Like that one just off the end of the bat and gets into some open green. It's just the 4th hit Ledbetter's given up today.
He gave up 2 last inning. Before that, hadn't given up a hit since the 1st. He's tallied 5 strikeouts tonight, Only 3 walks. The leadoff one this inning to Childress, who waits over at second. Now Justin Karn's going to come out and have a mound visit. There's nobody in the bullpen right now for the Mammoths, so I actually checked that there is. Looks like that's Tyler Richley maybe warming up over there in the right field foul territory. Ledbetter's going to hang in there at least for the 6th, it appears. Assistant manager for the Mammoths, Karn, will walk off. First pitch, Parkinson pops it up to second base. Bagneski and Morales are there. Morales will squeeze it.
Good job by Morales to call off Bagneski. It was in his territory and looked like he was eyeing it pretty well.
Much needed 1 pitch out for Ledbetter. That might go a long way towards the possibility of seeing him next inning. Perhaps the only better result there could have been a 1-pitch double play. Parkinson elected to go the other way, high into the air. 88 pitches for Colin. Hodo reached and scored on a fielder's choice last inning. First pitch low. On the ground, that's going to stay fair, and Parker will grab it and already has his foot on the bag. Ledbetter gets out of a little bit of a jam. 2 runners on with only 1 out. Mammoths keep the game right where it is. 2 apiece. We'll head to the 7th.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. Choose great seats from over 125,000 live events, all backed with a TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Get your tickets smarter at ticketsmarter.com.
Well, we're finally here in the 7th. It felt like that 6th inning took a long time, and it did. It was the longest inning we've had tonight. 12 batters combined between the 2 teams, 7 for the Mammoths, 5 for the Unicorns. The Mammoths win the 6th as they have 4 hits, 3 in a row. They also get a walk, and 2 runs were able to come across and tie this game at 2 apiece. This man stepped in and gave up one of those runs on a base hit from Sam Loda, but then was able to get a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. So Keon Taylor will now work the 7th, facing the 9-1-2 hitters, Bagneski, Morales, and Brown.
Bagneski 0 for 2 today with 2 groundouts. On deck is Morales, who has 2 flyouts and a groundout to his name.
Bagneski did reach his last at-bat. That was on a 6-4 fielder's choice. He was able to beat out the double play. Checked the swing, but he went. 0-1. For Taylor, only 8 earned runs this season. Four of those came in that one start he got earlier this month on August 4th. That was against the Hoppers. 5 hits in that one, only struck out 2. He's averaging 10 strikeouts per 9 innings this year. It's a little above league average. 3-1 on Bagneski, and he'll take his walk.
What's interesting about Keon Taylor, and we were talking about it during the pregame, is that the Unicorns don't really have a clear-cut starting pitcher. And what's interesting is that Keon Taylor has 6 wins already on the season. Just shows you that their bullpen provides a lot of the grunt work effort that a normal starting pitcher would.
Yeah, Taylor's 6-0, and 6 decisions is one of the most we've had in the league, let alone all of them being wins. The decisions between winning and losing pitchers have really just been spread around all season long. For the 4th time tonight, the Mammoths have the leadoff runner on. 3 of them have been by walks. Only one of them got on with a base hit. That was Houston Parker back in the 2nd. Morales, he's 0 for 3 today. There goes Bagneski on the first pitch. Parkinson throw down to second. That's a nice throw, but Bagneski slides in just in time. He's safe. Quickly put into scoring position. The walk turns into a double.
It continues to be the team aspect for the Westside Woolly Mammoths is having aggressive base running, and it's been working out for the most part this year.
2 hours after first pitch, we're tied at 2 apiece here in the top of the 7th. Morales fouls that one back. Nick Matthews, Brendan Shabath bringing you this call on the USPBL Network on what's been a fabulous Friday night. It's been good baseball, a good crowd, good pitching. Yet to see a home run. It's been primarily small ball tonight. 7 hits for the Mammoths, 4 for the Unicorns, only 1 error collectively. It belongs to the Mammoths. Morales fouls that one off his foot.
Going back to the aggressive base running, the Westside Woolly Mammoths coming into today's game had 65 stolen bases. Compared to the rest of the league, Utica only has 22. Birmingham with 22 as well, and then Eastside with 30. So nobody close to Westside's aggressive base running.
Bagneski's going to try for a third. Parkinson, the throw down. That's wide. It's going to go to left. Bagneski's going to come around to score. The throw from Brunson not going to be in time. And right on cue, the aggressive base running results in the leading run. They're up 3-2.
I mean, we were only just talking about it.
Bagneski started this inning with a leadoff walk and the 4th leadoff base runner tonight for the Mammoths. Stole second, waited a few pitches, stole third, and then on the errant throw came home to score. Morales was down on strike, so there is 1 out. First pitch to Brown is in for a strike. Slider stays outside as Keon tried to backdoor Elijah. 1-1. Taylor's first strikeout tonight in that last at-bat to Morales. Boy, that slider just keeps on sliding. Starts so far outside. This is when Keon's been at his best. Talking to many teams and hitters in the league, and they say at night, that ball just gets lost in the scoreboard. It's so hard to see sometimes. It doesn't really matter the color of what is ever on the scoreboard behind it. It's just the fact that it's lights and whatnot. You really just want a solid dark color behind the pitcher, and that's not what it is on Taylor's deep sidearm delivery. That's not quite submarine, but it's close.
On a normal pitcher's delivery, it's easier with that black tarp that's over in center field.
1-2, base hit for Elijah Brown.
Good opposite field hitting there by Elijah.
He's reached in 2 of 4 plate appearances tonight. That's the first one by virtue of a hit.
To put in perspective, the center field wall back there is dark, and it helps both sides, both lefties and righties, to see and pick up the ball. That's what it's used for. But with Keon Taylor's delivery, it helps him out in his case because of the lights over there on the big scoreboard.
There's the batter's eye that you see, and to the pedestrian fan, it might not be something that you think too much about as Brown, with all his speed, gets worked back to first. But if you take a look at every ballpark you've ever been to, and particularly major league ballparks, there's a reason fans don't sit in dead center field just behind the wall. You'd think that'd be a pretty good seat. A lot of home runs go over there. But it's because there needs to be a solid background that sits behind the pitcher for hitters to see. You think about a local place like Comerica. They've got that grass wall back there where the camera well is. Fenway's obviously just got the big green monster, and it's different at every park. Some just have, similar to the USPBL, a standard dark green wall back there. Others have things like Comerica with grass. I know the Astros have a wall with their logo mown into it. And it can be a brick wall. Some are wood in the minor leagues and stuff like that. But that does play a large factor at a lot of places in how easy it is for hitters to pick up hits, whether it's the color, the size, the location of the batter's eye, or an often forgotten about part is how the sun during the day or early parts of night games shines on the batter's eye.
Even down in Toledo for the Mud Hens, it's a combined USPBL background with Comerica Park, as you can see, Brendan. There's the hedges, and then there's the green or the black tarp that we have out there in center field.
I remember Malik Boland telling me about his college ballpark. Brown goes on the pitch. It was a pitch out, and he still beats it. It squirts into center field. He's not going to go to third. He'll wait. As Galassi's quickly there. Man, even on a pitch out, you still can't get Elijah Brown. He speeds over into scoring position. Only one out in the inning. That was Morales on the strikeout. Connor Emmett faces a 2-0 here. But back to Boland, he was telling me about his college ballpark, and he said for some of the taller hitters it was harder because they had the similar, yellow stripe at the top of the fence, and the lights had a glare just perfectly on that yellow stripe that would be kind of in the batter's eye. For some of the taller guys that were able to see that glare, the shorter guys that were a little bit below it couldn't quite see it, but for some of the taller guys, that made it really difficult to play at night. And it's such a little intricacy like that, the glare of the floodlights on top of the yellow stripe in center field that you don't quite think about, but it has a large impact on the game. Emmett takes a big cut on a 2-1. Taylor's fought back from 2-0 to even it at 2 apiece.
Baseball and golf are some of the most mental games out there, and even the smallest detail like that can have an impact on outcomes of games.
Got him looking. Strike 3. Taylor gets a big and much needed strikeout. That's his second of the night and of this inning. Now only one out left to get as he faces Houston Parker with a runner in scoring position. Collectively for the Unicorns, that's just the 5th strikeout tonight. Through 6 innings of work, Colin Ledbetter has that many himself.
With runners in scoring position, Houston Parker has excelled in that category, hitting .333.
Fouled back to the screen. Brian Leaf waits on deck. Parker facing 1 ball and 1 strike. Inside, nearly nicked Houston Parker, and that's been the story of the season for him. He's been hit by a pitch statistically 14 times, literally 15 times. One of them, as we mentioned last night, he was called for strike 3, as they said his elbow was in the strike zone. Fly ball, left center field, going back. Galassi onto the warning track. The wall, he'll make the catch. Parker gave it a ride. Boy, we've seen that 3 or 4 times tonight between the two teams. Home run scares. Nobody yet has hit a long ball. 3-2, the Mammoths lead the Unicorns. Time for our 7th inning stretch here at the ballpark, presented by Genesis Credit Union. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, for it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. We've got a good one on a Friday night. Get up and stretch. You don't want to miss the end of it. Mammoths and Unicorns on the USBBL Network.
Why are all these business owners smiling? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with one of the nation's top professional employer organizations provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and Tryon's team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
One thing that makes Detroit Mercy unique and different from other universities is that the faculty truly care about you and they're always there to help. Whether it's asking questions after class or going into the office hours, they're always there to lend a hand and really make you feel at home.
People are here to work together, and whether like you have a question or you're discussing topics within the class, you can go up to your professor and they know your name. They're just willing to help you become a better overall student.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
Colin Ledbetter, who started this season as the main flame-throwing closer for the Mammoths and has since become their lead ace on the pitching staff, finishes tonight. Another quality start for him. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts, and just 3 walks. His team has the lead right now, 3-2, as Tyler Richley takes over here in the 7th.
Colin Ledbetter, you can't say enough about him. Had a quality day for the Mammoths on the mound, especially what they needed after facing this red-hot Unicorns offense.
Richley out of Ball State, 12 appearances this year, 12 2/3 innings. Ball 1. Top of the order, Castro, Attilis, and Galassi due up. For Richley, it's a 4-seam fastball, curveball, changeup, and slider. Slider used the least. And no surprise, the fastball used the most at almost 62%. Under the zone with the 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Excuse me, bottom of the zone, 4-strike-1. Richley only 7 earned runs this year. 14 walks to 24 strikeouts. He leads the league in strikeouts per 9 at just over 17. Big swing and a miss there. Seventh inning brought to you by Valpak. This large crowd has largely stayed through tonight's game. We had a big contingent standing up, stretching, and singing for the 7th inning stretch. 2-2 now on Castro. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Strikeout, ground out, pop out. He's got a little bit of everything, looking to get a little bit of a base hit right here. Richley taking a little too long. He'll have to discuss with Loda. For Tyler, opponents come into today hitting just 191. Better against lefties than righties is Richley. Lefties hitting less than 100 against him. Righties not much better, 161. He's a guy who, we see a few pitchers that do this, not much in the USPBL, more at the major league level, will almost exclusively throw the changeup and the slider depending on the batter at hand. Slider goes to righties, the changeup to lefties. There's the slider, and he got him, strike 3. One batter, one strikeout for Richley. A native of Durango, Colorado. As we mentioned, spent his college days at Ball State.
Also got a few Colorado natives here in the USPBL. Another one is Nick Kreitzer.
Good velocity on the fastball tonight for Richley, 91. That's where it's been all season. It's gotten up to 94. Underrated velocity out of Richley, someone we just haven't seen a lot. This is a loaded Mammoths pitching staff, not necessarily for its talent or numbers, but just with the bodies. It's probably got the most roster turnover of any staff this season when you look at it all combined here in August.
Another Colorado native is Ryan Sullivan on the Beavers.
Strike 2 for Richley. Part of that roster turnover for this Mammoths pitching staff has been the injuries that they've dealt with. We talked about Rafi Vasquez yesterday. Donovan Thacker, who's now a hopper, he had an injury to deal with. And Attilis, look at this. Again, it goes to the gap. This is going to drop. He's going to try to stretch this for 2. Leaf cuts it off, turns and fires. It's left to the second base bag, and Attilis is fired up with a 1-out double.
Does exactly what he's supposed to do, finds the gap out there in right center field, and does what he does best, is find open green.
His second hit tonight, third time he's reached in 4 plate appearances.
Dangerous batter here with a runner in scoring position.
Don't want to say it's been an off day for Galassi. 0 for 2 plus a walk, but it's been nothing like his past few.
Yeah, his past few were just so spectacular. It makes this look so minuscule.
He's got a chance to turn that around right here in the 7th. The tying run on second base, the potentially go-ahead run, steps into that left-handed batter's box. 1 out that came to Castro on the strikeout. Pounded foul. Galassi 367 average, 11 for a 30 this season with runners in scoring position. There's been no wind tonight, and maybe that's why we've had so many fly balls look like home runs. He hits this one on the ground right to Brown. He'll cover the bag himself and step on it for the 2nd out. Attilis scoots over to 3rd.
That was a very hard hit ball to Brown, and a great reaction to flip his glove up and get the out at first base.
The wind yesterday was the opposite of what it usually is, was coming in from center field. And it was hard to tell how much of an effect it had on the baseballs because there weren't too many that were hard hit deep into the outfield, but there were a few liners and whatnot, little bloopers maybe that it felt like dropped faster than they normally would. And tonight, no wind, and I think kind of the same thing, not that they're dropping, but there's no carry to any of these baseballs.
Right, as long as you get the actual jet stream in downtown Utica, because it blows in this ballpark because there's a lot of wide open space rather than like a stadium of Oakland or Comerica even. The ball carries out of here.
I think they're gonna intentionally walk Ari Sikopoulos. I saw Jellikowski point to Ari after that mound visit, and might be a good decision. You put the force play on with 2 outs, and you don't pitch to the best home run hitter in the league.
It's a smart decision there from the Mammoths, and now you still have to face a guy who's hitting 360 right now.
Yeah, it doesn't get easier. You just have to pick the lesser of 2 evils if you're going to do it. I mean, I guess they could just intentionally walk Childress and load the bases, put a force anywhere.
They could if they wanted to.
Childress looks at the slider outside, 1-0.
They'd still be facing Lambert, though, who had a decently hit ball in his last at-bat.
Pretty darn close to a home run the way it sounded and looked right off the bat. It ended up just being warning track shy in left field for Lambert, that was. Another slider outside. Richley not getting Childress to chase. He's been pretty good about that this season, Childress, that is. 10 walks to 17 strikeouts, a walk tonight. Reached in all 4 appearances, one of them on an error. Two balls, 1 strike. In the dirt, good block by Loda. Attilis is getting an aggressive lead at third base. He wants to score on anything that gets by Sam Loda and tie this game.
It's so important for Loda to knock everything down and keep this game from getting out of hand or tying it up.
Childress fights it foul. Pressure spot for Richley. Hasn't been in that a lot this season. We get a chance to see what he's made of. Childress has been in these positions before. We know he's a clutch and professional hitter. Corners occupied. 2 down. Full count. 1-run ball game. Sikopoulos goes on the pitch, and Richley could not come up with it. So technically it's back-to-back walks. Not if you count the intentional walk to Sikopoulos. Bases loaded now for Lambert.
Lambert, a hit by pitch is all he's recorded on the positive end.
Chance to turn his night around right here. Slider. Backdoor strike. Loda framed it well, but he doesn't get the call. Some groans maybe from the fans.
The crowd is very lively tonight. Good reactions.
They have been involved in all of this game. And it's hard to tell who's rooting for who. Swing and a miss as Richley fell down.
He put all of his body into that.
Yeah, and got the intended result, I guess.
It's a bold strategy. See if it pays off for him.
Richley trying to get out of this jam. His team holds a 1-run lead. They were down this entire game until the 6th, in which the Mammoths scored 2 there, and then 1 in the top half of this inning to take the lead. On the ground, charging Morales at second, an easy underhand flip Elijah Brown's fired up. Richley gets out of a bases-loaded jam. The Mammoths hold their lead through 7.
As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at getascensionmichigancare.com.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. fsbcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood because strong neighbors mean stronger communities. Where good neighbors do great things. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
So good, so good, so good for the Westside Woolly Mammoths getting out of that bases-loaded jam. Richley getting a ground ball to end off the inning and hold their lead by 1. We got a new pitcher is Austin Calopietro for the Utica Unicorns taking over for Keon Taylor. Nick Matthews, Brendan Shabatha give you the call here in downtown Utica, Jimmy John's Field. We got a good one. It's 3-2 in favor of the Westside Woolly Mammoths, who are coming to the dish. Austin Calopietro coming in with a 2.51 ERA. 13 Ks on 12 walks. He's struggled with the walks so far this year.
So Calopietro relieves Keon Taylor. He went an inning and 2/3. 2 strikeouts, 2 hits, and a walk for him. 1 run came across on his watch. First pitch to Leaf, due up after him, Vaughn Jr. and Loda. It's in for a strike. For Calopietro, it's a 4-seam fastball, changeup, and slider. Mainly fastball. That's the slider in the dirt, 1-1. The ball and a strike is in for strike 2. It's been a really fun game tonight. See what the Mammoths can do here in the 8th, holding a 1-run lead. They were able to get out of the bases-loaded jam last inning. It's happened a few times tonight. Swing and a miss. Leaf down on strikes. No, he just tipped it.
Leaf with an RBI in this game. So very few of them.
1-2. Out into center, a base hit. Good 2-strike hitting for Leaf. He nicked that foul ball by centimeters on the bottom of the barrel, and that one he was able to fight back. Put into center for a base hit. In steps Vaughn Jr., 1 for 3 tonight. Pair of flyouts to right field. That one in the 4th was of the deepest kind. A single back in the 6th. First pitch strike, 88 on the fastball from Calopetro. Another fastball at 89, but misses. For Austin, it's only 4 earned runs in 14 1/3 innings of work.
Here goes JJ in the grandstands. His fans adoring him.
Now 2-1. Has struggled a little bit with the walks and strikeouts, has Austin. 12 base on balls to 13 Ks. We'll have a talk with Parkinson right now.
Parkinson probably letting him know, hey, we just need strikes. Get a ground ball here and give us 2 outs.
8th inning here on the US PBL Network, brought to you by Jimmy John's. Maria Vitiello on Facebook says Long Beach, California loves the Mamos and misses Nick Caruso. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's matchup. If you have, leave a comment on either stream or at whatever platform you choose to watch. 2-2. High, full count.
Such a good eye from Greg Vaughn Jr. Leads the team in walks.
He'll see pitch number 6 right here, and that's the average in every at-bat for Greg Vaughn Jr. Pickoff move to first. Leaf is safe. 6 pitches per at-bat for Vaughn is second best in the league. He walks just under a quarter of the time. That's third best. Here's the payoff pitch, and there it is.
His 18th walk of the year.
That's the 13th for Calopetro.
And struggled with that all season. Has an even 1 ratio, walks to strikeouts.
For the Unicorns, that's been a little bit of a struggle for the bullpen. They've got 5 walks combined tonight, 3 of them from bullpen arms. We really can't say enough about how good this kid has been. 2 for 3 tonight, an RBI, both singles, struck out back in the 5th. Loda's off to a 4 for 6 start to his professional career. Quickly behind 0-2. Perhaps what's most impressive is that RBI single in the 6th, coming in his first appearance against Keon Taylor, righty on righty, the sidearm. Loda got the better of him, a guy who's been so tough for righties to hit this year. Lays off the slider.
It was a very impressive hit, too, right back up the middle.
Did he tip it? And he did. So Loda stays live. Another impressive thing that I noticed for Sam Loda is looking at his college numbers. In those 5 seasons at Central Connecticut State, not a lot of power, just 7 home runs total, but 93 RBIs. And we're already seeing that here professionally, his ability to bring runners home when they're in scoring position.
And as we head to the home stretch of the season, he might be moved up in the lineup, even as a DH, or if he gets the call to be the catcher for the day, might see himself in the middle of the order.
2-2 outside, 3-2. Loda's fought back in this one. A chance to bring home his 4th professional RBI. 3 of his first 4 hits have had RBIs. Only 1 extra base hit. That was a double last night. 3-2, fought off foul. Not out of play, but out of reach. Waiting on the 8th pitch of this at-bat. Leaf right there stands on second. Vaughn Jr. waits on first. Nobody out yet here in the top of the 8th. Mammoths have scored in each of the last 2 innings. 3-2, fouled again. For Loda, we mentioned he was all NEC, the Northeast Conference for Central Connecticut State, twice, once his junior year, once his senior year. Was first team his senior year, second team in the junior year. And that one is inside, ball 4, bases loaded, nobody out.
It's a good at-bat there by Sam Loda, fighting off some pitches that he doesn't quite like, and then ends up drawing the walk for this guy.
Back-to-back walks for Calopetro. He has yet to record an out since coming into this game. Single walk in the 3 batters that he's faced. And the center fielder Tanner Thomas will pinch hit for Wade Weinberger Jr. here in the 8th inning, down in the 8-hole.
And then Buddy Dwayne Jr. putting on the helmet for Greg Vaughn Jr., taking over second base.
He'll pinch run. Dwayne with some speed over there at second. Both those guys, Dwayne and Thomas, typically starters, getting the day off tonight. We'll see what that does to the defense. Weinberger was the DH, so Thomas will just stay as the designated hitter. Dwayne likely just stays in left to take over for Vaughn, where he was defensively. For Tanner Thomas this year, 27 games played. He's got a .243 average, a couple home runs, 16 RBIs. He's been good in this spot.
He's hitting .310 with runners in scoring position.
Had one of the, I think, fastest home runs this year. Put it on a line out to center field a week or 2 ago. He's been the leadoff man all season long for the Mammoths. 1-0 in for a strike. For Tanner, he excels at hitting the barrel. There is some swing and miss in this bat. 26 strikeouts this season. That's above average league-wide, but he's ahead 2-1 here. Tanner's been about even against lefties and righties, a little bit better against lefties, but it's negligible. 89-mile-an-hour fastball is fought off foul. The 2-2, infield in, swing and a miss. Much needed strikeout for Calopetro after back-to-back walks. He gets the pinch hitter Thomas to go down on swings.
That was a huge out there. Now a double play can get him out of the inning.
That's Calopetro's last batter. Perry Bewley's going to take over. He'll inherit the bases loaded, but 1 out after Calopetro does end his day on a strikeout. We'll step aside for the pitching change on the USPBL network.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
We build, Roads, bridges, wind farms and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers, our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. Choose great seats from over 125,000 live events, all backed with a TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Get your tickets smarter at Ticketsmarter.com.
So Perry Bewley takes over on the mound, inheriting the bases loaded, but with one out. He would love to get a double play ball here. Bewley's been a fantastic reliever all season long for the Unicorns. 17 appearances, 24 1/3 innings of work, and a sub-2 ERA to go along with all of that. He holds a four-seam fastball, slider, and changeup. The changeup is used very sparingly, usually a test pitch, and if he likes how it looks, he might use it a little bit more, but he gets the job done with the fastball and slider. The spin rates for him are among league best on both pitches. Uses the slider 43% of the time, the fastball 51% of the time. Locates both pitches really well. He'll face Bagneski here with one out. Bagneski, he's 0 for 2 plus a walk. He scored the go-ahead run, basically willed it himself, took a big swing for strike one. He got on with a walk last inning, then stole second. A few pitches later, stole third, and the throw down to third scooted into left field, and Bagneski was able to come home and score. Infield still in, might come home on a ground ball to third or first. But Bagneski behind 0-2. A strikeout would work here for Bewley. He's got 37 of those this year. To go along with 9 walks, that's a good ratio for him. 0-2 in the dirt. Bewley's 14 strikeouts per 9 and 4 walks per 9. Our top 10 in both categories. Fouled off by Bagneski. One-two, fouled back again. Bewley does get more fly ball outs than ground balls. Ground balls around 28%. Would really like to get one right here. Get out of this jam. Get his offense to bat here in the bottom of the 8th. 1-2, low and in.
Yeah, if he can get a double play here, it would be the momentum shifting towards the Unicorns. On the opposite end, if Connor Bagneski can get on here, could take the wins right out of the sails for the Unicorns.
2 balls, 2 strikes. It's Leaf over there at third. Vaughn Jr. at second. That pitch low. They want the appeal. He did not go. Leaf at third, Vaughn Jr. at second, and Sam Loda at first. Check that Buddy Dwayne pinch running for Vaughn Jr. He's over at second base. Payoff pitch to Bagneski. Fouled off. He's fought off 3 foul with 2 strikes in this at-bat. Staying alive, trying to come up big for his team in a big spot.
Big moment here in this game.
Bewley taking a little bit longer this time, going over the signs with Parkinson. Got him looking, strike 3. Fastball dotted low and away in the bottom of the strike zone. Bagneski thought he worked the walk, but he'll head back to the dugout. Back-to-back strikeouts for the Unicorns.
It was huge there for Perry Bewley. Now puts the pressure on Mitch Morales.
Mitch 0 for 4 tonight. Couple of flyouts, strikeout and a groundout. But perhaps the best walk-up song of anybody in this game. First pitch swinging, strike 1. .92 on that last fastball from Bewley. Fastball velocity has been really good for him all year. Averages around 91. He's gotten it as high as 94 for rounding up. Quickly ahead 0-2. Outside 1-2.
Big moment here for Mitch Morales. He can come up clutch. He'll be a hero.
It's been a longer game. We've played for 2 hours, 45 minutes, but it's been an enjoyable one. 3-2, fouled back by Morales. Mammoths were down by a run for a while and then got down by 2 when the Unicorns tacked on 1 more in the 5th. They followed that up with 2 of their own in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. That leaves us where we are right now. Only 5 combined between the 2 teams. Morales facing a 1-2. Elijah Brown would be next. Swing and a miss. Perry Bewley with back-to-back Ks as he steps in and inherits the bases loaded, and he leaves them like that. Down by a run, the Unicorns will bat in the 8th.
Why are all these business owners smiling? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with one of the nation's top professional employer organizations provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and Tryon's team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
We joined Green Path and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to do it.
The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing Green Path is a no-brainer.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. Choose great seats from over 125,000 live events, all backed with a TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Get your tickets smarter at ticketsmarter.com.
So, as I coincidentally just mentioned in the last half inning, we've played for 2 hours and about 47 minutes now. And due to the 2.5 hour time limit we've put on ourselves here at the USPBL, this is the last half inning. Unicorns trailing by a run. This is their last chance to tie or take the lead and end this ball game where we stand in the bottom of the 8th. Tyler Richley, who came out to relieve Colin Ledbetter in the 7th, will start things off in the 8th.
Buddy Dwayne Jr. taking over Greg Vaughn Jr. in left field after pinch running for him.
So it'll be Brunson, Parkinson, and Hodo, the bottom of the order, 7, 8, 9, due up here in the last half inning. Unicorns haven't scored since the 5th. The one guy that did score will bat this inning. That was Hodo. He was that 5th inning run.
Brunson 1 for 3 today.
First pitch fouled back to the screen, 0-1. Chopped foul over by third base. Unicorns have left 11 on the base paths tonight. The Mammoths have as well. 9 hits for the Mammoths, only 5 for Utica. 3-2 our score.
It's been a tight game, and they've been the same way the past few times these two teams have played.
The 0-2 is in the dirt with the slider from Richley.
Past 3 games, it seems 2 runs or less has been the outcome.
Check swing. Did not go. Richley got out of a bases-loaded jam last time. Came in and struck out Castro to start things off in the 7th. Then the single from Attilis. Ground out from Galassi. Intentional walk to Sakopoulos and the walk to Childress. Another slider in the dirt.
Another check swing, too.
Left the bases loaded after those 2 walks with Attilis on third. But then a ground out to the second baseman Morales from Kevin Lambert ended that inning there. And after being ahead 0-2, Richley walks Brunson. Leadoff base runner on. He represents the tying run. What would be the game-winning run, Matt Parkinson steps up to the plate.
Bat boy putting in his work.
The good news for the Mammoths, Parkinson has yet to go yard this season. Does have 4 doubles to his name, no triples. This ballpark just doesn't give up many triples.
And it's not very triple friendly. However, there have been a few in the past week or two.
Parkinson's 1 for 3 tonight. Couple pop-outs. Had a single in the 5th. Slider outside. Loda pounces on it. Richley was getting some swing and miss with that slider in his first inning. Brunson was able to lay off of it with 2 strikes in that last at-bat. Parkinson lays off the first one here in this. 1-0. This time it's the fastball. 2 balls, no strikes. Loda will head out. Loda perhaps game planning a little bit, and he's had a few mound visits tonight, and as you saw in the pregame interview, if you were tuned into it, we asked him about how he calls a game in a league he's never played in, against hitters he's never caught against, for pitchers he's never caught against. And he said a big part of it was preparation and game plan, talking to his coaches and the people that have been here. Down goes the runner, and he's out! Got him. It was De La Cruz pinch running for Brunson, and he's cut down. A big out here in the bottom of the 8th.
Huge turn of events there. Wow.
Nice throw from Loda, and we just have not seen that this year. Not many catchers have been able to get a runner stealing De La Cruz comes in for speed, and he's immediately cut down.
Good stuff from the man behind the dish.
Man, we can't say enough about this kid. Parkinson follows the 3-0 back. He had a back pick last night for an out after he dropped the ball for a second. It was below him, through to first. Got Cameron Collette of the Beavers. Catches a runner stealing tonight. He's got a couple base hits, an RBI. 2 RBIs last night.
He's having a heck of a weekend.
2-2 on Parkinson. But back to our point, he said the preparation was key, and talking to the people that have been here, and Taylor Jellikowski, about how to pitch to some of these hitters. And maybe that's part of the reason we've had a few more mound visits than normal tonight, trying to discuss with some of the pitchers, maybe ask them how they want to pitch to a certain guy in a certain situation.
Because they've been here for the majority of the season, if not all.
3-2 on Parkinson, second full count that Richley has been in. Last one resulted in a walk to Childress. And Parkinson wouldn't offer at the slider. It's just not getting the chase that it did in the first inning. So back-to-back walks. The pinch runner, De La Cruz, being cut down, leaves it with 1 on and 1 out for John Hodo. Here comes Jelly. Richley's day looks to be over. He'll take the ball. Good inning and a third. Or excuse me, just 1 inning actually. Inning and a third. Did get the out on the base runner for Richley. And Kyle Bischoff, the hard-throwing closer, will step in a save situation for the Mammoths on the other side of this break.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. fsbcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood, because strong neighbors mean stronger communities.
Where good neighbors do great things.
Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Why are all these business owners smiling? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with one of the nation's top professional employer organizations provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and Tryon's team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
1 on, 1 out. Last chance for the Unicorns here in the bottom of the 8th. Trailing by a run. Parkinson stands over at first. Hodo will step up. Kyle Bischoff now on the mound. Local kid, Macomb native, right over here on the east side of the state. A former Michigan State Spartan. Was there this past season. Led the Big Ten and Michigan State with 12 saves.
Got a lot of round of applause here from the home crowd.
First pitch to Hodo, fouled down the first baseline and out of play. Bischoff's 12 saves were tied for second in program history in a single season for Michigan State. Baseball College writers named him Stopper of the Year for this past college baseball season. That hasn't quite transitioned to the pros yet for Kyle. The velocity sure has. That last fastball coming in at 94. He's got a four-seam fastball, slider, and changeup. It's mainly just fastball and slider. The changeup used less than 5%. The ERA is what stands out for Bischoff. He does have 3 saves, which is already second in the league. The ERA above 7, though. He's gotten knocked around in a few appearances. Ten total earned runs in 12 innings of work for Kyle. 8 walks to 13 strikeouts.
Opponent's hitting .346 against him.
0-2. That's chopped a high bounce back to the mound. Loda does a nice job communicating with Bischoff, telling him just to go to first for 1. Hodo is out on the ground out. He does advance the tying run, Matt Parkinson, to scoring position, and the last chance falls on Leandy Castro. So Malik Bolin, who had the day off, will now pinch hit for Castro. Castro was 0 for 4 with a couple strikeouts. Bolin's had a good year, batting .287, slugging the ball at .414. 3 home runs as well, 17 RBIs. Love one right here, in for a strike. 95 from Bischoff. He was a 10th of away from me, rounding that up to 96. Absolute gas right now on the mound for Kyle. 0-1, fought off foul, slowed him down. 85 on the slider.
Mammoths 1 pitch away from getting their 13th win of the season. Malik Bolin can try to prevent that.
Bischoff early, much better against lefties than righties. Lefties hitting just .182. Bolin takes a high fastball at 96. That's, I think, the best fastball we've seen this year. 96.2 on our flight scope. According to our baseball ops intern, Dan Mueller, nobody's touched 96. This could be the ball game. There it is. The Mammoths go back-to-back. 2 wins in as many days. On the ground out to second base, they win this one 3-2 after trailing for much of this game, all the way into the 5th inning. 2 runs in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, and Nick, they're able to pull it out.
Absolutely, and that's what they needed to do today against the Unicorns, is to play throughout the entire game and not hang their heads and fall behind like they did in the beginning of the game, but they picked themselves up and played it all the way through, and that's exactly what they needed to do.
So the Mammoths get the win. They beat the Beavers yesterday 6-2. The first place Unicorns tonight 3-2. Stick around for the Detroit Mercy post-game show. We'll have our player of the game on the other side of this break.
Play smarter.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. Choose great seats from over 125,000 live events, all backed with a TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Get your tickets smarter at Ticketsmarter.com.
We joined GreenPath and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to do it.
The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing GreenPath is a no-brainer.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well-earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at GetAscensionMichiganCare.com.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. Choose great seats from over 125,000 live events, all backed with a TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Get your tickets smarter at Ticketsmarter.com.
Dunham Sports is a proud partner of the USPBL. Big names, low prices, delivering value since 1937.
At Fifth Third Bank, we're working hard to make banking a Fifth Third better, which means we put 166.7% into everything we do.
I think you can only give 110%.
Well, with free checking, fraud protection services, and an automatic savings tool to help you quickly reach your goals, 166.7% is possible.
Oh, wait till my 8th graders hear about this. They're gonna be like, it's not possible. Well, yes it is.
This is banking, a Fifth Third better.
There are many things you can rely on in this world, like a sunny day brightening your mood, your mom baking the world's best apple pie, and never a dull moment in running your business. And when it comes to time-consuming HR tasks, you can rely on Tryon. Tryon can handle payroll and taxes, employee benefits, and more, so you can stay focused on attracting and retaining the best talent. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Welcome back to the Detroit Mercy postgame show here with our Lombardo Homes player of the game, Elijah Brown. Elijah, 1 for 3 tonight, plus a walk, did score a run. First, I want to ask you, back-to-back wins tonight for you guys. Beat the Beavers last night, beat the Unicorns tonight. Second place last night, first place tonight. You guys have been in last all season long, but you've been competitive. 0 for 7 in extra inning games. You guys avoid those this week, which is good, but it really doesn't feel like you guys have been the last place team this year. What's your guys' kind of mentality around that?
So, I mean, like you said, 0 for 7 in the extra innings and just being in last place, it's a little defeating, but you got to be able to take positives away from it. So even the fact that we have 7 sudden death games shows that we can compete with the best. You know what I mean? We're in those games and we're battling, and it just doesn't fall our way. And, you know, it's a long season. When you look at it on a broad scope, you kind of you just walked through that. When you look at it on a broad scope, you kind of can almost belittle yourself, but you just take it a game at a time. And, you know, we're coming down the home stretch, so just to string a couple wins is good momentum going into the playoffs.
And to continue off the home stretch, maybe, like you said, feels a little defeating being this far back. How important is it, and how much does that help the locker room to beat the 2 best teams in the league?
It's huge. It's huge, especially being this late in the season. And, you know, everybody makes the playoffs, so it's good to kind of find the rhythm and find the groove and the chemistry amongst the guys going into the playoffs, you know, and being able to just know that you're playing your best baseball when it matters.
So now let's talk about how you've done lately. A big night last night and a good night tonight as well. Stole a base tonight. That's 22 on the year for you. You've got 21 strikeouts, more stolen bases than strikeouts. Your speed has been lethal this year. You haven't been cut down yet. What's been the key to that success for you?
Honestly, just putting the ball in play. You can't strike out if you're putting the ball in play. And, I mean, I was struggling in the beginning, started to find it, and the balls just weren't falling the way that I wanted them to. But now, starting to hit the ball hard, and just when you hit it hard, good things happen. And then once I get on base, you know, I'm just head down, I'm running as hard as I can. You know what I mean? I've been fortunate enough to be perfect so far, 22 for 22. So I'm looking to keep it going and you know what I mean, make some noise in the playoffs.
And continuing on the topic of stolen bases, your new catcher on your team this time is a guy you faced in college, Sam Loda, and you weren't perfect in college. He was the one guy that you said cut you down.
Yeah, so Sam's a good arm, and he's just an overall good catcher. And when both of our catchers went down, we threw Hootie back there, but, you know, he's a mainstay at third base, so we had to find somebody else. And when I heard that Sam was coming, I immediately jumped on Chip. I texted Jelly. I said, Jelly, if you're hesitant, just know that this is the only kid that can actually throw me out. And I don't know if that's what did it for him, but, I mean, so far I've been doing pretty good on the bases here. So, and he showed it tonight. You know what I mean? He threw a guy out in a big spot, and he's a really good arm back there.
Sam Loda throwing out the lead pinch runner, De La Cruz, in what was the final bottom of the 8th inning as the Mammoths win this one 3-2. Kyle Bischoff getting the save. Elijah, good game. Thanks for being with us. Our Lombardo Homes player of the game, Elijah Brown. Mammoths win 3-2. We've got a doubleheader for you tomorrow. It's Beavers and Hoppers starting at 5:30. My partner Nick Matthews and I will be on the call there. We look forward to seeing you on the USPBL Network.